The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Listen here, this is a fact of life. I be rapping like Nat Turner came back to life. Grab Donald Trump by the pussy, he ain't acting right. I never run from a conflict, I be glad to fight. It's a very cold world that we live in. And somebody please tell Elizabeth you're not an Indian. You just trying to con them people to get the benefit. Just another immigrant, stealing from the Indians. That's some punk ass shit and that's too lame. Now we finna step over to Andrew Yang. And you a sucker, you could never speak for black folks. Fake ass pandemic, trying to get the black vote. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You know your boy be high off sativa. Kamala wasn't popping, so we said bye, Felicia. She ain't had a right policy. We ain't trying to meet her. Y'all can take Biden too. Bye. We don't need her. We don't need Roland Martin or that coon Al Sharpton. Didn't need Cory Booker from the start, man. I don't fuck with police and no snitch. You know I'm coming with the heat when I spit it. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. If you ever go to court and this is your luck, try not to get fucked by Benjamin Crump. I know it's hard. You and all go is hard. But who the fuck is Amy Cloak? Put her picture up on the bullseye and start throwing darts. People cut our organs out our bodies, that's a stolen heart. They can't save us from the flood like Noah's Ark. Black lives always matter, we finna go for ours. So then we savages, we don't need to pot the piss. Mike Bloomberg can suck dick with that stop and frisk. You ain't speaking for us, we don't know you. Bernie Sanders, they get your funky ass on too. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me.
I'm talking about shout it going crazy. People going crazy in them motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it's nothing. Nothing. About a woman on a day. Man made the car. Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolyte to take us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water like the 7 Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. And man makes them happy because man makes them joy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world.
joining us this evening. Her sister just lost her son real bad. And Shabaka should be joining us very soon. Here shortly, our West Coast Forest Shabaka's experience, which I'm the producer, co-host of. Twins and Matt missed y'all last night. We were supposed to show last night. That show went almost 6 hours. So make sure to put the playback. And on this season 4, because we're in our 4th season now. 4th season of the Frontline Black News. We've been around for 4 years. Episode 2, part 2 of the Frontline News, we'll be discussing several things. The first thing is Billy D. Williams, Baccs actors that do blackface. So we're gonna go over that. Then we got why Candace Owens wants to be black again. Now all of a sudden she want to come back to the black community after she done shitted on and denigrated. Dolton, Illinois, hires former Chicago as special investigator to find money Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard spent. Very, very interesting. Then we got San Jose former police officer requests 300-mile location for upcoming trial. So we're definitely going to dive into and wants to move the location 100 miles from the event where the assault occurred. Touch on that. Then we got immediate action against squatters. Baccs to treat them as trespassers. That means. Then we got 100,000 for migrants in Madison, Wisconsin. Where did it come from? Then we got black people stood up to the police. Great news. Great news. After they detained young brothers for eating pizza. Then the NAACP Rocky Mountain Chat wants us to boycott the Westword magazine here for a racist article about black youth. So yeah, I'm gonna hop right into it. It chimes in. Mac. So yesterday we covered Cornell. Endorsed by my party, Unity Party. Y'all see the shirt? It says Unity Party. So he got endorsed by the president ballot here in the state of Colorado. Just on the ballot here in the state of Colorado. So if you live in the state of Colorado, in addition to that, the Unity Party, my party, which I'm junior chairman of and have been a member of for the past 5 years, has endorsed me run for House District, District 8 I live in. So that's great news. Historically black district, 1970. Oh, thank you, man. School here. I know my Nuggets is gonna go back to back. Yeah. I'm running for office again, y'all. I'm running for HD 8, which has been a historically black district since the 1960s. We live Northeast Denver, the East Side, Park Hill, Green Valley Ranch, and Swansea. So it's going to be very the other people that were Democrats did not pass it. One of them, and I was white girl. Just again on the Democratic bastion. We're gonna be in for a rude awakening come November. Appreciate it. Yep, they need to vote for me on Black First Agenda. Preserve what left of Black Denver be gone if they allow this white girl to get in. She has really no connection to the community. I've never seen this broad ever in my life until recently at a town hall candidate forum where I really called her out and the other people on the stage like, of y'all in community, I've never seen you, never seen you ever. She was on. So what is she gonna do specifically for people? She didn't give no drive answer. She something specific that she was gonna do. But people in the community, especially the Black people in the community, have never seen this. They see me every day. So it's gonna be interesting, especially since they counted me out. Their race. So you know what they say: success is the best revenge. It's our revenge. So that being said, I'm gonna hop right to this evening's topics since Baccs still hasn't chimed in. So we got Billy D. Billy D. At former acting South people started making and they made that's from that's the way Black people. It's transition. It's sorry, y'all. Internet won't start acting stupid all of a sudden. I'm at the Black House today. I'm not at the Doll House, so the connection isn't the best. But please bear with me. So yeah, I was giving y'all the history of blackface. So it started with the minstrel shows during Jim Crow. Twin and Mac, y'all are very aware of this, or you should be aware of this. That these minstrel shows were really making fun of Black people, and they would put on blackface, black paint on their faces, and they would have these ridiculously big red lips, where they put paint on their lips to try to imitate Black people and make fun of Black people. So, yeah, this dude, Billy D. Williams, seems to be in support of this nonsense. It's like, aren't you FBA, Billy D. Williams? Like, don't you know the history of blackface? Don't you know the history of minstrel shows, especially in the Jim Crow South? So, Lisa Cabrera is going to give us the update on that. Let me share my screen. Let me put the copyright up. Facebook, YouTube, you on that bullshit, y'all know. So fair use, YouTube. All right, let me share my screen, and we're going to hop right into it. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to Frontline Black News. So Lisa's going to give us the update. Shout out to Lisa Cabrera.
ladies and gentlemen, I did see this story out there. The only one I know that did it was Harvey. Shout out to Harvey. And
Yeah, you're
look,
wrong.
y'all,
Yep.
Billy D done lost his mind. Back in the day, I used to like Billy D.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, I never thought I would come to a day where I despise Billy D.
Right.
So let's get into this story. Billy D. Williams backs actors wearing blackface. He goes on to say, do anything you want to do.
Yep, twin, shout out to
Now, it's bad enough we see these children, because, most of the blackface are school children.
Shit.
They're either in grade school or they're in college. The vast majority. So, the families are passing this down to them. It's just like any racism that you see passed down. Blackface is passed down. It is. It's a fact. That's why you see these stories cropping up each and every year. But when you see someone that is melanated like you and they have this opinion,
definitely.
Man, Billy D, I hope you're just going senile. That's why you're saying this. So Billy D. Williams is perfectly fine with actors donning blackface for a role.
How can you?
The Star Wars actor, he's now 87 years old, gave his take on the controversial subject in an interview.
Mention Alzheimer's or something. Yeah.
Bill Maher. He was on an episode of Club Random Podcast. Williams touched upon the idea when he mentioned legendary screen actor Laurence Olivier covering his face with dark makeup for a 1965 film adaptation of Othello. Well, why don't you just get a black actor?
Okay, Shabaka should be joining.
Being that Othello was a black man. With all of the talent that's out here, it should not even be necessary to do blackface.
Right.
And I used to think it was silly anyway. I remember when I would sit with my mother and we would watch these old movies. And I was asking her about that one time. I said, why is that white man painted up like he's the black man?
Yeah.
My mother told me back then they weren't giving roles to black actors. So if it was like a leading role and it was based on a black man or woman, they just painted them up as black. That's so dumb. That is so dumb. But let's go on.
Right.
William Shakespeare plays center around a Moor, a person of Muslim descent who lived in parts of Europe in the Middle Ages, military lieutenant who is fighting against the Ottoman Turks. When he did Othello, I fell out laughing, Williams said. He stuck his ass out and walked around because black people are supposed to have big asses. He continued. Maher, when chimed in as Bradley Cooper thinks he's got a problem with the nose. The A Star is Born director, 49, caught flack last year when he wrote a fake prosthetic nose to portray a composer. Okay, so they did a biopic on this maestro, Leonard Bernstein, and I guess they put a prosthetic nose on an actor. Well, that's not as bad as blackface. I'm sorry, but it's not. It's not as bad as blackface.
I just seen he just got the link.
The costume sparked outrage among the youths who saw the nose as stereotypical characterization of themselves. Yeah, well, blackface is a whole characterization of us, and it is a mocking done by that community of us as well as others. So the outraged ones have done blackface. I've seen it in film, And you have
Yeah,
to,
remember Tropic Thunder?
especially if you watch the old movies. So those outraged people, they're guilty of doing that. So anyway, Williams went on. I thought it was hysterical. I love that kind of stuff. What, you love blackface?
Who loves black?
Oh, this man got to be senile, y'all.
Besides white supremacy.
87 years old, and this is how this man is talking. Billy D is a raccoon, y'all. He's a raccoon. He's a raccoon.
Fullest. What the hell you?
Today, they would never let you do that. Mar added about using blackface. Yeah, but today it's still done. It may not be done at the studio, but, you know, it's done definitely on social media. If you're an actor, you should do anything you want to do. The Mahogany Star said, you should do it. Mar then noted that Williams once actually lived in a period where you couldn't do that, where you couldn't play that part. Yeah, because they would not for a long time give parts to black actors and actresses, not unless it was a slave, you know, and they got you on there bucking your eyes and running around looking stupid.
Oh, God.
So anyway, but it didn't matter. The Batman actor replied, the fact is, you don't go through life feeling like I'm a victim.
Man, like, what the hell is wrong with him?
Well, actually, you are one, Billy D, especially if you face racism through your acting career, which many do. Not only actors, but even recording artists. They'll tell you about the racism that they have faced.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes on and says, I refuse to go through life saying to the world, I'm pissed off. I'm not going to be pissed off 24 hours a day. You know what? It's not about being pissed off 24 hours a day. Blackface is the ultimate disrespect. It's a straight up mockery. And it shows that the people that do these things are showing you they don't like or respect you, and they don't care how you feel about it.
Yep.
It's the ultimate disrespect.
It really is.
So elsewhere in the chat, Williams and the Real Time with Bill Maher hosts debated whether the youth of today are too soft. Maher called young adults fragile, like hothouse plants, because they were raised wrong. Well, no, not all young people out here were raised wrong.
Exactly.
Okay. I think when you don't teach your children the realities of life, yeah, they go out here, and when things don't go their way, they fall apart. They can't handle nothing. And that is, yeah, there are parents that really don't teach reality to their children. And you can tell by the way they talk around you. Oh, I don't want them walking around believing this and believing that. Yeah, you know, but, you know, sometimes you have to teach them real life issues and how to deal with them. And avoid talking about things. That doesn't help anybody. Certainly ain't going to help your children. Williams rebuffed the idea, saying that, he was saying, you know, they're just misinformed on the modern issues. He argued that kids today lack a sense of history. Well, yeah, they're trying to wipe out the history. Exactly. They're trying to wipe that out. The political commentator agreed. I wouldn't call, well, never mind. Stating that young adults don't know anything, but it's not their fault, as they may have been raised in a particular way. No, it may not be their fault, but anything they want to know, you have access to the internet. Just because you didn't get it from your parent, it doesn't mean you can't get information from other sources, especially when you're an adult. If you want to know certain things, you can seek that information and find answers.
No excuse.
It doesn't matter whether a parent told you or not. I learned a lot of things that my parents didn't tell me. You know, they did tell me the reality of life and what it would be like for me navigating through life in America. Now, I was told about that. But every detail about everything, no, there were some things I had to learn along the way. That is normal. That is normal. So although their parents may have dropped the ball on certain things, they can still find the answers if they really want it.
Right.
And if they're still walking around all naive, then they don't want those answers, do they? So y'all, please tell me what you think. I am disappointed in Billy D. I am really disappointed in him. I never thought I would be looking at him as a raccoon, but I'm certainly looking at him as one now. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on.
Don't forget to hit the notification bell and like and subscribe to Frontline Black News as well. Come on, Shabaka, where are you at? I think it's just got the link. He might be having technical difficulties getting on here. But yeah, Billy D should be ashamed of himself. Oh, what the hell? Are you gonna sit up here and say that you condone blackface? And you're black, and you talking about you condoning blackface? Hell no, I'm talking about, well, I don't see no problem with it. What you mean you don't see no problem with it? The hell is wrong with you? Oh, man. The dementia's setting in, the Alzheimer's setting in. Something she said he was 80. He's 87 years old. He's definitely regression. Oh yeah, he's definitely part of that Hollywood agenda. I don't want to get Shabaka's thoughts on this. Shabaka's always crumb bumming on Hollywood. Let me see if I can get him over here. I sent him the link. I'm gonna try to send it again. There you are. Oh, it's Lady Che. Hey, Lady Che.
Babe, I just wanted to tell you. Yeah, I'm not staying. I just called real quick. Just let you know I'm going with my sister real fast.
Okay.
I don't know when I'll be back, but she over there about to lock the house down or whatever. Just letting you know.
Okay.
I'm just checking it. Hi, twin. Hi, Matt. Where the hell y'all been yesterday?
That's what I said.
Where the hell was y'all yesterday?
You probably fell asleep.
There's like, both of you taking a sabbatical? What's going on with you guys? Yeah, no, go with my sister. We're going to go do family stuff. You know, she's crunk, so it's crunk around here.
What are your thoughts on this damn Billy D. Williams talking about he backs actors that do blackface?
Oh, he's stupid as hell.
Right.
Send yourself on it too. Right. You guys go ahead and set up little excuses. It's like, ready to take your riches away. It's supposed to be the high tea, man. Like, where the hell was y'all at? Yeah, I'm gonna be outside. I don't go outside that often. She wanna. I'm gonna try to see if she gonna let me drive the car. She got the country coming out of it. That's been like hours of that. You know what I mean? Country. Where the hell she at, man? The hell she said, I want to bring the car. Where the fuck you go get the car?
I don't know where the hell she at. I don't know where the hell Shabaka is. Shabaka said he's gonna be on shortly. Yeah, he been saying that for like 30 minutes now.
Getting dressed. It's hot as hell. It's 63 degrees. She want to go somewhere. I was like, man, we gonna wait till it cool down. It was 79 degrees when she got here.
Yeah. I think
we're gonna let it cool down a little bit, and then it was hot like fire in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Just politicking, and then I was like, we're gonna let the weather cool down a little bit. Sweating on my braids.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Now, man, and then my rings keep getting stuck in my little clicky clacks in my hair. Huh?
Yeah. You should show them.
Now, it's hot, man. You know, we're gonna go get. You know, I'm trying to get in. I'm like, we're gonna get into because I don't go outside. Like, what we gonna get into? On bed, yeah, man. What? You came to kidnap the dog. It's about to get live outside. No, be like, I'm really gonna go outside, man. We're gonna be like, oh, that's it. The dog
Hey. So,
I'm just about to dip off. I was just telling Jesse I was about to go with my sister. Okay. I'm about to go with my sister. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I was just telling Jesse that I was going with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was gonna say that's telling Chewbacca. I'll go with my sister, so oh Lord have mercy. I fear for the streets. I just
stay armed and stay dangerous. Protect yourself at all times.
Oh shit, man! You know, these crackers always think they gonna do something. They ain't never gonna do nothing. Right. And I stay dangerous.
Right.
Just pick me is dangerous. Dangerous to myself.
Okay, Lady Che, check this out. To quote the words of a former heavyweight champion, say you reflect fear on your opponent. In other words, you make that son of a bitch more afraid of you than you are of him.
Exactly. And what is all this good energy I got? This is Aries energy. Like, motherfucker, I exude danger. Exude danger. You can't feel danger when you see me, then there's something wrong. Like, you know, when we go in places, motherfuckers just move to the other room. Not talking. They just leave. They just look down at their feet.
Okay, Lady Che. Okay, just like what Zoom said. Hey, Mac 285, greetings to you there. Okay, this is what they call in the art of war. Okay, the art of war. You make them think that you are strong when you are weak, and you make them think that you are weak when you are strong.
Yeah, don't let this little milky mulatto.
But when they strong and they think you're weak, then you just go on and let it go and bring out all the evil thoughts out of you and commence to go beating that ass.
Mm-hmm. Let the motherfucking power of a goon just take over.
All that. All that. But however, you always want to pursue the ways of peace.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm here.
No, I'm talking about sister.
You talk to her.
Like a little loud.
Okay, it's like this right here. Okay, it's like this right here from the old television series of Kung Fu. Okay, you know, check rather than hurt.
Oh yeah, no, man. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, and I'm leaving.
Maim rather than kill.
Eat a burger.
For all life is precious, and none could be replaced. And just
you know, Chewbacca, I feel like if anybody put themselves in that situation, it's because they really had a hard time asking for the attention they were so desiring. You know, they had to create a situation so they could get the attention they needed. So they put themselves in that situation. And oops, you know, that's your bad luck.
Well, but what it is though, if they cross that line, then commence to putting your foot in the ass by any means necessary, whatever resources are available, and used with extreme prejudice.
Outside, dangerous.
It's called self-defense. You see.
Right.
But they don't. But for some odd reason, you know. But for some odd reason,
I wouldn't fuck with us just because the way we talk. I would just stop fucking. I wouldn't even want to get into it just because we talk real reckless.
We're worse in person.
Way worse in person.
Yeah,
I'm mad. Yeah, but we was mad reckless. It's gonna get real disrespectful. Before you get physical, it gotta get a little disrespectful.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying, and then you got a whole lot of these bust ass motherfuckers out here that's talking loud and saying nothing. Boom, boom.
You talking about the Jeff Farts of the world? You talking about the Jeff Farts of the world?
Oh yeah.
So Chewbacca, we just went over when
Where you at, man?
Your boy.
Where you at?
Okay, so what's the topic you're discussing, Brother Che? Because I got to get
I
up
thought you was
early.
gonna walk me out, man, and hold my hand. It's dark outside.
Oh,
Yeah, come
okay.
on, man. Let's go ahead and hold hands. Because we have to be outside reckless. Hold my hand. It's scary outside.
You got a blade, razor
Oh,
blade.
goddamn right, Chip. I got this blade. I
Ooh.
just don't want to walk outside by myself, man. What's the point of having a sister? We can't be teammates. I just bucket with her. She know how good. Man, come on, I'm outside. Come walk outside with me. It's dark out. Hold my hand. I just bucket with her. Trust me. Trust me. We got this.
What kind
I fear for the streets. Remember the streets. No, just kidding, man. I just want to say goodbye.
Hey, man. I certainly hope it ain't them buckets, man.
I'll see y'all later, okay? I just gotta let you know, Jesse, I'm about to leave.
Okay. Mac was like, that's a nice hat. I'm like, I know, we're going back to back. Back to back.
Oh man, stop it, Jesse. You about to tagging out your bucket. I can feel it. I gotta go, man. All right, peace, twin, peace, Mac, peace, bucket. Bye, Jesse.
Okay,
bye, Lady J.
Mac 285 says Denver had us fly, and then once again we're getting hit with all this goddamn spam on our devices right here, burning up all our motherfucking energy and all that. And old Cop Mala, as she would have been right as the Attorney General, she would have put some legislation or put some type of shit and law to them assholes over there in Silicon Game Valley regulating this bullshit, man. Because every fucking time I turn on my devices, man, I don't want to see nobody's goddamn advertisement up there.
Right.
Shit's annoying.
It is annoying. But getting back to the first topic, Billy D is talking about Billy D. Williams. You remember Billy D. Williams?
Yeah, man. And I think I know what you're getting ready to talk about.
Back in actors that do blackface. So Lisa just gave us a whole rundown on it. And me and Twin and
I'm very, very disappointed in Mr. Williams on that.
Yeah,
because that is what them Jigaboo movies was about, Birth of a Nation and all that old type of shit. Amos and Andy and some cartoons that they used to make and all that old type of shit.
Oh yeah,
Colt 45 Negro, yes sir. You know what I'm saying? And then the cold part about Mr. Williams,
you said Jigaboo Jones, Colt 45 Negro, Stephen Fetchit. But it was a whole bunch of them.
Okay, but however though, folks, let me say this here. I'm going to give Billy D. Williams the benefit of the doubt because the man is 86 years old and dementia might be
He's 87 now. He got to be in like third stage dementia.
Yeah, or something, or could be senility. Or Alzheimer's or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And but however, I do recognize Mr. Williams and the role he played in. Of course, everybody knows him for Lady Sings the Blues, but you know, he was an actor in the early 60s too when he was coming up. He done a couple of television movies. One of them was called Carter's Army. Okay, he did A Taste of Honey. And he was also a stage actor as well too. And Mr. Williams did portray Dr. King on the stage. Oh boy, okay, now I'm trying to see how good what's left of my memory it is. I think about the early 70s. I do know after he hit stardom when he did Lady Sings the Blues. He hit superstardom when he did Lady Sings the Blues, okay? Because I remember all the sisters were crazy about him and what have you. And then he also did the other movie called Mahogany, starring Diana Ross, you know, as well.
Yeah, I remember. I remember watching Mahogany when I was a kid.
Okay. Yeah, and then Mr. Williams, you know, he led a very private life to the best I know of, which is great, which is beautiful, but also too, you know,
lately he's been on some real weird shit about it. Like
I don't know, man. So
he on
in the last
shit.
Yeah.
On some
And the
real
last few
Hollywood
years, I
shit.
certainly hope that Billy D, ain't that type of man. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And because I would be very, very disappointed. You see what I'm saying? Now,
right. Yeah, see,
Tyler
look,
Perry, he's gender fluid. Oh, Mac 20, come on, man, for real. Mac 285
yeah.
for real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Not only am I disappointed in Mr. Williams, I'm deeply hurt about that.
You know how weird and wicked Hollywood is.
You telling me, brother Che, why do you think I went and did the live feed that I did? Oh yeah, Mac 285, I believe you, brother. Yeah, I most definitely take your word for it. And also too, Mac 285, ask brother Che if he still has it of the live feed that I did from Hollywood. What's that there, brother Che? 2 years ago when I was down there
Yeah,
on the HB and Highland, I believe. I was there on
yeah,
the Walk of Fame in front of the Chinese theater. And I guess they go through a thing of the ritual and what have you and whatnot. I mean, hell, look at Caitlin. You know what I'm saying?
you
I
mean
need to watch
Bruce? This goddamn Bruce. This is always gonna be fucking Bruce.
it. Oh,
It's
yeah.
always,
And then also, too, Mac 285. I think Brother Che has, if he does, Brother Che, if you have that clip that I did off of HB a couple of years ago, man, please send it to Mac 285. Mm-hmm. And
I don't.
please share it.
Okay,
You don't have it?
I don't have
Okay.
Facebook. Are you on Facebook, Matt? Want him to answer.
Okay.
Put your name in chat so I can find you on Facebook. So I can send it to you on Messenger. So moving along.
Mm-hmm.
The next is Blacc again. The bed wench that went out her way to shit on and denigrate black people. She wants to be black again. Okay.
Well, keep in mind, folks, for every coon that there's a black person dying to come out.
Yeah. Yep. They just got to kill that cracker within.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Also, too, Brother Che, we're yet to set a topic for Tuesday on Shabaka's Black
Man,
Experience.
Rising, we could come bum on the dump again. I guess we could do another dump supporter show. Since that,
Okay, yeah. We'll invite all dumpsters to call in. You know what I'm saying? And I just want the dumpsters, as in human shit. And I want to make that
we want to
perfectly
make
clear.
that perfectly clear.
Yeah, call us in, and I want to be sold. Repeat, I want to be sold on why I should support this orange raccoon-looking, the sexual deviant motherfucker. And I'll be all ears. I'll meet myself out. You know what I'm saying?
Went on his
I'm
website
serious.
yesterday, and he only mentioned black people one time. He didn't say black people. He said African Americans, and he mixed. He put all these other groups in with us. And like, what the hell?
Brother Che, as you know, you and I are going to have our friendly debate soon. We needed to draw it professionally up. Well, should we title that? Okay, Diasporic Africans versus FBA, or what have you.
We could do it like that, or we could say is Pan Africanism still a thing in the 21st century?
Yeah, exactly. And then, as you had pointed out, that I commend you for, man, on this Pan-African trip, those on the continent, man, got to get on the cold, because all these motherfucking neo-colonializers, you see, there's not so much the problem of colonial. See, you got to understand something. Colonialism cannot exist without neo-colonialism.
Right.
Meaning, to put it, to make it, plain, is that neo-colonialism is the Negroes in Africa that are on the puppet strings of the colonialists. And then I put up there in the private chat, please.
And then they tell us over here to undermine what we got going on over here.
Family and fellow soldiers.
And then please follow me on Stinky Bird at Shabaka capital EXP. On Stinky Bird now.
Yeah, what used to be Twitter is now X. Yeah, y'all
Yeah, but I
follow
call it Stinky Bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason why I call it Stinky Bird, because
Lord,
I do not recognize those goddamn Dutchman as no African. Got me fucked
up. Right, you rocket. Okay, so
that's the shit I'm talking about.
Professor Blacc too is going to explain to us why Candace Owens wants to be black again.
This is some funny shit.
I'm the professor, and this is the moment of truth.
On the like page, please like and subscribe to Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced like page. Please do not spam it. We don't mind, nobody sharing what they're doing, but please remember us and reciprocate. That's all we asking.
Okay.
Because we're taking on water real bad.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna let Professor give us an update on Candace Owens. We want to be black again.
So when you say something like, oh, Candace Owens, we don't want you in our culture. You don't understand Black culture. I have to keep reminding you that I don't want to be a part of this culture.
Well, first of all, you're a goddamn tether any goddamn way. You're a tether, you're a Caribbean tether.
And keep ghetto gang. Go to Hollywood. Go do some porn with white men on you.
You know how in the Black church we say God is good? And then what is the immediate reply when you hear in the Black church somebody say God is good all the time? This bride didn't even know anything about that, so you can already tell she did not grow up in no Black community, Black household, any of that. So,
and it's really sad
around Black people
because it's really sad is because the woman is very, very articulate. Okay, I'll give it that. She's halfway decent looking. You see what I mean? But she keeps ghetto gang.
She's just
her mind is, sir. Her mind is fucked up like Omarosa was. With the dump. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
But it's all part of.
I want to destroy it. I want to destroy it.
You see, you hear her. She said she wants to destroy Black culture. That's a true definition of a tether right there.
Oh, yes, sir. Once again, part of the Ma'afa. A disaster so bad it's beyond description. And this person right here, sir, is in a classic AAA1 example of it.
Yeah. She can take her ass back to St. Thomas with that bullshit.
I want to destroy it. I want to destroy it further than it's already destroyed itself. I want to go backward.
A few moments later.
There's a reason why we are the Black media. It's because we don't do things that these Negroes who have the white media backing them up like to do. Ever since Candace Owens put herself on the outs with the white right, she's been feebly trying to reinvent herself. And I don't think that anybody should let people forget who and what Candace Owens is and all the crap that she's done.
Right.
This woman made it her career that she was going to be attacking the Black community. I guess she figured that it was going to pay off very well, but apparently it didn't pay as well as she thought it would. But of course, if you're looking for a platform that you can use to try to put one over on the Black community, you got to find the right tool for the job, and you got to give Candace Owens at least credit for that. She certainly found the right tools with the breakfast schlubs. And of course, there was going to be no hard questions. These guys, they just love yucking it up. They have a hell of a lot more in common with Candace Owens than not. Candace Owens is trying to figure out, how does she get her Black cred back? Well, first of all, you got to have some before you can reclaim it. That's the first problem. And the second one is, it's not going to be the breakfast schlubs or Joe Budden or anybody else who's going to determine whether or not Candace Owens will be allowed in polite Black society. It's going to be the grassroots who decide that. And we've already made up our minds on that one. Candace Owens can go slither back to whatever rock she crawled out from under. She chose her friends. She certainly didn't want the Black community to be a friend. She wanted to attack the Black community, to destroy it. And she wanted to go backwards. Yeah, back to the 1830s. That's where she wanted to go. But it turns out Massa didn't like having her in the big house after all. So now that she's been kicked out, she's looking at the slave quarters, and just like all the rest of the turncoats, trying to make it sound like, oh, I was really down with you guys all along. No, you weren't. Candace Owens acted just like the white supremacist that she models herself after. And of course, these bootlicks, they decided that they were going to go ahead and treat her the same way that they do all of their other non-Black guests. Oh, we're just going to go ahead and yuck it up. All teeth. That's nice. We're all buddies here, except we're not. Of course, she's slithering to the Black community. She already understands that a lot of those white media outlets that she had previously gotten a warm welcome from, they don't want to talk to her now. And if they did, she wouldn't be getting these softball questions. They'd just be setting her up with the anti-Semitic accusation. That's all it would be. Nothing but hand grenades, no softballs here. In fact, you have one of the main right-wing think tanks, the American Enterprise Institute, who's been trashing Owens. They act as if there's no reason for anyone to have even heard of Owens. Yeah, that's how they're talking about her now. The white right's talking about her as, oh, we've gone from her being the belle of the ball to she's this obscure character. We know you've never heard of her. Yeah, right. I find it interesting coming from AEI because on their website, they had no less than 5 previous articles about Candace Owens. So they've definitely heard about her. They used to love her. She was the belle of the ball, that is, right up until last November. 3 of the 5 AEI articles mentioning Owens have to do with her criticism of Israel. By the way, just a few days ago, AEI published a piece attacking the ACLU because apparently the ACLU refuses to champion one of the white right's pet issues. They claim that free speech is under attack. Oh, the irony. But one of the things I found interesting is that the AEI chose to bring up that back in the day when Owens was first trying to make her bones with the white right, she previously had said she hadn't been a conservative, but that she had had a political conversion. That shouldn't surprise anyone, by the way. This is how these opportunists always operate. Whatever corner of the political machine they think is going to benefit them, that's the one that they run to. And if it turns out that they made the wrong bet, then they'll turn around and say, oh, well, I've had a political conversion. Oh, yes, I've had my Saul on the road to Damascus moment, and I have now seen the light. Yeah, that is until the corner that she runs to apparently runs out of shekels to give her. Then she'll find another corner to run to, and she'll repeat the exact same spiel. These people don't have principles. They only have objectives. Yep. Candace Owens has spent several years kissing the white right's behinds. Now, if she actually did have the courage of her convictions, shouldn't she be going back to all of those little right-wing bigots that she had been holding on to and carrying water for and sticking up for? Why doesn't she try to make nice with them? Right. Why don't they go ahead and talk over their differences? That's because she understands exactly what the nature of their relationship was from the very beginning. Yep. She was never seen as their equal. Never. At long last, though she refuses to admit it, she understands that the relationship was always oppressor and oppressed. Although, of course, she's just too far from polite to actually use that word, but that's okay. We know that these guys get their foot up your behind, Candace, and we know it's not very comfortable. So that's why she's trying to slither back over here with the Black folks. Now, what exactly led to this split between her and the white right? As I mentioned in my prior video about this, Candace Owens was most likely disrespected a lot by those racist males in the white right. Yep. Also, they most likely didn't pay her what she was expecting to be getting. It's always about money with these people. The white right is self-destructing. That's another thing that Candace Owens has probably noticed. Back in, say, the 1970s, the Republicans were far more politically pragmatic. That's why they made the decision to tell Richard Nixon to resign the presidency. The Republicans were the ones who did that. It was a delegation of Republican congressmen led by then Texas Congressman George H.W. Bush, who went to the White House and told Nixon, you're hurting the country. Worse than that, you're hurting the party. So you got to go. Even Rachel Goldwater was in there with them telling Tricky Dick, you got to leave. They were as venal and corrupt as ever, but they were also realists. They knew that they wouldn't be getting anywhere unless they could get the stink of Richard Nixon and Watergate off of them. And so they threw Tricky Dick overboard, and 6 years later, they had the presidency back, and they won 3 landslide elections and held the White House for 12 years. But since then, the white majority the GOP has counted on to win them elections has continued to dwindle. The culture has also undergone some significant changes, too. The Republican Party has not adjusted to any of these developments. Republicans have instead decided to let the incompetent operative class be the thought leaders for the party. Clowns on AM radio and Fox News, idiots who don't have to run for political office, morons who make their money saying the most extreme, stupid, over-the-top stuff. See, for the hate mongers on AM radio and Fox News, they don't have to worry about things like winning office because their game is simply winning ratings. What they fail to understand is, while the kind of stuff that they do draws an audience for Fox, that's television. And the necessities of monetizing your television station are a heck of a lot lower than what it takes to win the presidency, or for that matter, to be able to carry a number of states, especially at the Senate level. That's what the Republicans have failed to understand. The stupid stuff that Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and Candace Owens say on Fox News makes for horrible public policy, and it turns off too many of those centrist voters. But the problem is, for 40 years now, the mouthpieces on the white right, like Rush Limbaugh, pushed a message of conservatism is perfect, and if you lose an election, it's because you weren't conservative enough. You weren't extreme with your right-wing ideology enough. Again, that plays well for the base and the irrational fringe. But for everyone else, it's a turnoff. Worst of all, though, is that these white right-wing donors, the mega millionaires and billionaires who fund the GOP, these men live in their gated communities, their exclusive walled estates, their private islands. They literally live in a bubble, surrounded by butt kissers and yes men. But these men, they get to actually paint their own reality and pretend that their hatred and bigotry somehow has appeal outside of their own little gated community, except it doesn't. So when they see black people or anything that doesn't validate the primacy of white males, they go ballistic. Go back and listen to the video on this channel that I did about why Roger Ailes isn't going away. In it, I pointed out how the mega millionaire Joseph Coors of the Coors Beer Dynasty used his millions of dollars to fund every racist white right-wing organization out there. This man didn't have millions of supporters, but he did have millions of dollars, and that's what he used. These elderly, demented old rich racists are a large part of why the party has gone off a cliff. These geriatric bigots control the money in the party, but as they get older, they're demanding policies to try to turn the clock back 100 years. And of course, we can't forget about the extremist morons on the internet. Ron DeSantis tried to make it to the White House by catering to the online trash who you see posting racist memes about black people. And DeSantis found out the hard way that what Lindsey Graham said is true. The Republican Party simply isn't creating enough angry white males for them to be able to hold office. Now, what this has to do with Candace Owens is, I believe that Candace Owens is fully capable of seeing what the Republican Party's been doing, the mistakes they've been making. Hell, the fact that she gave those broadsides against Israel, that was right there a declaration of war against them, or at least a declaration that she wasn't going to be playing nice with them. She could clearly read the tea leaves. Who the hell couldn't? But this doesn't mean that she's on the side of the angels. What it means is that Candace Owens, she's already switched sides before, and now she's looking to go ahead and do it again. The GOP may have painted themselves into a corner that they can't get out of, but it seems Candace Owens wants out. Put those factors together and you get a good idea why people like Candace Owens left. It's the same reason punks like Steve Schmidt left the GOP. Schmidt was an advisor to John McCain, you'll recall. We see how well that went for McCain's numerous failed presidential campaigns. I don't think Schmidt respected McCain at all. He certainly didn't adore the man as much as he tries to convince people that he does. To Schmidt, McCain represents a high-profile reputation that he figures he can use to give his own deficient ideology some thin veneer of legitimacy. Like him or hate him, in D.C. and in the white media, John McCain was respected. Schmidt, on the other hand, desperately wants that for himself. And in Arizona and elsewhere, he's ignored at best and reviled at worst. But the GOP had no use for him, so Schmidt has been attacking the party. Why not? When political parties don't reward you, you have no incentive not to kneecap them. But this is the well that Candace Owens is drawing from these days. People like her don't have principles. They only have objectives, and they don't really care who they have to work for to get them. It's like what I've told you about these high-powered politicians and their wives. Why do you think that whenever some politician has a huge scandal, their wife always has to go out there for the humiliating press conference with the media? Bill and Hillary, Elliot Spitzer and his wife, Andrew Big Bussy Gillum. And by the way, even though there were no sex scandals during Barack Obama's administration, or at all for that matter, doesn't change the fact that Michelle Obama, she stands by him for the same reason all of these other politicians' wives do. See, when you're talking about people like this, they don't have marriages. They have arrangements. And the same goes for these political operatives like Candace Owens. They don't have friends. They have personal goals for themselves. Their respective political parties or the ideological movements that they advocate for are merely seen as a pathway for what they really want, a means to an end. By now, Candace Owens probably thought that she would be working as an advisor to a presidential campaign by now, or that she would have a big book deal or at least a show on Fox, but she doesn't have any of those things. They didn't want her in the first place. Part of the job description for a bootleg is you have to be their willing punching bag. They know you get tired of the abuse. They know you don't like it, and that's the entire point. But between now and when you finally get tired of taking their abuse, they know that they'll have a good old time using you, abusing you, and then screwing you over until you finally throw yourself out the door. This is where Candace Owens is now. As I've always said, white supremacy has no long-term plans for any of its tools. Hell, Simone Sanders managed to play the game better than Candace Owens or Omarosa did, and nobody would give Simone Sanders any credit for being some sort of genius. Michael Steele is a regular fixture on MSNBC, and you better believe he gets paid for his appearances. That's why he attacks the GOP that he used to be the chairman of full time. Now put yourself in the shoes of a Stacey Dash or an Omarosa or a Candace Owens. You get disrespected regularly. You don't get paid what you think you should, and the money's the entire point that you decide right. And the people who you work for don't even do the pig simple stuff that they need to do to help themselves. Now, she deleted her little old post where she was trying to claim, it's the media. They're brutally smearing me. They want to convince Black people, my own community, that I hated them. No, Candace Owens, they were just accurately reporting what you already said. The Black community already knows that Candace Owens hates Black people. Exactly. She's done everything that she can to run away from the Black community. And we're going to make sure she cannot come back. Exactly. So finally, Black America is recognizing that they were intentionally misled. Those are the voices in her empty head talking. Because if she thinks that the breakfast schlubs and Joe Budden are Black America, well, it just goes to show that she's hung around those white media moguls too long. They may be able to manufacture their own little worlds on their sound stages and in their studios, but out here with Black folks, we're not fooled at all. And you see who she thanks for her little would-be image rehab. This is the reason why you need the Black media, because without us, this is what they would be doing. They'd be bringing out these idiots and claiming, see, they speak for the Black community. They speak for the Black community. And where's Charlemagne the Fraud and DJ Penis Envy to push back against this and say, no, you are on the outs with the Black community. We gave you a chance to speak your mind, but that doesn't mean that anybody respects you or likes you. Right. No, of course not. Because they all work for the exact same white media, although in the case of Candace Owens, she's aspiring to find a new would-be white media patron. Candace Owens may not be an anti-Semite, but she's definitely anti-Black, as she herself said.
I don't want to be a part of this culture. I want to destroy it.
And keep in mind, these white supremacists, when they use words like
ghetto gang, sure as fuck their mind
as a euphemism for race. They use that as a euphemism for these are people we don't like. Whenever they say that all cultures are not created equal, Western culture is in a war, they're talking about race. They dang sure ain't talking about Black people. They're definitely not talking about Black Americans when they say the West. They're not talking about us. No. Now, while I do think that people like Jonathan Greenblatt and this woman from the AEI and others constantly throwing the word anti-Semite at people, that is already backfiring with disastrous consequences. But speaking of backfiring, Candace Owens' own clumsy attempts to get her Black card back, that's not working either. She has far more years of being a performative clown for the white right behind her than she does anything else. Her reputation is already etched in granite, and if she thinks she's gonna blackwash it now, she's got another thing coming. Once you leave Black, you can't go back. Candace Owens said it herself. Her mission was to destroy Black culture. But in the end, the only thing she destroyed was herself. Good day and be one. I'd like to take a moment to mention some of our contributors: Mark Anderson, Semesta Hobson, Terrence Gaines, Brenda McPherson, and Joseph Isaiah. Salute to them and thank you to everyone for listening, liking, and sharing this message. Black empowerment only exists because of you.
Yep. Oh, Lord. Buster punk ass rhymes. All right, Shabaka, what are your thoughts?
Okay, once again, the professor is dropping knowledge, sir. And I would be a fucking idiot to argue and dispute undisputable truth.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I concur, Shabaka. I concur. So yeah, your black card been revoked over a decade ago, Candace coon ass Owens. So you take your ass back to St. Thomas with that bullshit. You're not coming back here.
Thomas, as in the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, she's from St. Thomas.
Oh, okay.
So she needs to take her coon ass back to St. Thomas and
okay.
F that up. Go destroy that. We already got enough coons over here trying to destroy what we got going on. We don't need you adding to the melee.
Right.
So this next topic is really gonna be interesting, Shabaki. So
okay.
Who was the former mayor of Chicago?
No, man. Richard Daley.
Like, stop. Y'all out of...
Oh, Lori Lightfoot, yeah. Well,
No,
she's been placed in charge to investigate the mayor here of, it's a city on the outside of Chicago.
Dolton.
Huh?
Dolton.
Dolton, Dolton, yeah, Dolton, Illinois. Now, me personally, you have to understand something, folks. Okay, they got certain traditions there with Chicago politics. Okay, and if that woman is getting paid like the rest of them crooked motherfuckers have been, in the long run, I don't have a short with it, but a beef with it. But in the short run, it is still stealing the taxpayers' dollars. But however, ladies and gentlemen, that day in Chicago, they got a certain tradition there. It was the home of Al Capone for many, many years. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, she ain't doing
doing this shit. Where do you think she learned this shit from?
Chicago politics.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is why the only political candidate that I'm supporting, ladies and gentlemen, is Brother Jesse Paris with the B1 agenda. Okay, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Paris, that Mr. Paris will be running for the Colorado State Assembly.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Got nominated yesterday under the Unity Party.
Exactly. Because this two-party system, ladies and gentlemen, is nothing more than two sides of the same coin. You're not going to win with the orange raccoon, and you damn sure ain't going to win with the senile hiding Biden. Yeah, Sleepy Joe Crow Biden, who's not changing his diapers right. Kamala Harris, well, you know, what can be said?
What's already been said. She flat backed her way to the position that she's in now.
And I wonder what position she was in to flat back her way. You know shit.
All right, so go ahead, Shabaka.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay. And then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is that your current vice president. She was born in Berkeley, California in 1965. Her mother's from India and her father was from Jamaica. She was part of that caste system bullshit. You see what I mean? And I believe Brother Che on a previous episode, please check our archives at Shabaka's Black Experience Enhancing, which he is the co-executive producer of. And one of our top contributors, you know, he definitely laid down some heavy information on it. And also, to the family of Mario Woods there in San Francisco, California, our hearts still go out to you on your loss. And Kamala did not do a damn thing about it. And she had the power to do it, and she didn't do it.
Just like she didn't do a damn thing about Kia Boyd. She didn't do a damn thing about Oscar Grant.
She didn't do a damn thing about Ezell Ford.
Yep. So hell with Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Get into this Dolton situation. So Lori Lightfoot, the former mayor,
Mm-hmm.
We used to jokingly call her Uncle Lightfoot.
Yeah, right. She likes pussy more so than most men combined.
Exactly. So Uncle Lori Lightfoot, former mayor of Chicago, has now stepped in to be the special investigator to find out where the Dolton mayor, Tiffany Henyard, spent to find the money that she spent. To date, she spent like $7 million of the taxpayers' dollars.
Okay.
So Uncle Phil's gonna give us the update on that. Fast forward.
Of course, you got a place in South Africa. People got bag. Oh, they driving big. Get where he's going, but they the majority. I mean, I don't really see a baby issue like that for them. You know, like
Okay, here we go.
people in from the continent. Eventually, I'm gonna bring some people in from the Caribbean to talk about that. See, it works out just fine over here. So, yeah. Y'all gotta think a little bit. We can't recklessly just have babies and not have two-parent households.
Right.
Two parents households, but you got to have a jobs, career, affordability of household. You got to keep the lights on, you know, to have some babies, right? So no, we don't need to do that. And that's that. All right. So with that being said, let's get to the devotional real quick, and then we'll get to the story. So let's get to the devotional.
Y'all forget I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet, the mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work.
What is that?
No comment. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Y'all black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
So this is what it's all about, guys. They don't want a black person in power. They don't want a woman in power. You ain't seen that yet. And someone so young. Everybody gotta understand, God give you what you can handle. That's what God give you. He ain't gonna give you more than that. As long as you can stay the course, fight the fight, and keep going, that's what we're gonna do here at Thornton Township. And we've been doing a doggone good job.
Clerk, what are you doing? You're out of order. You're out of order. Did I call the roll? Did I say call the roll? I'm still speaking. You're out of order, Clerk Key. You out of order, Clerk Key. Like, stop. Y'all out of order. Everybody want to run stuff. Y'all don't run this house over here. Stop, please.
All right. Shout out to the super mayor. And she will be the subject matter of today, actually. So there's been some developments, ladies and gentlemen. Former Chicago mayor, Lori Lightfoot, somebody called her, you know, I've heard people call her Uncle Mammy. Mm-hmm. I've heard people call her chopper suit Lori. I've heard Uncle Lori. I've heard all kind of names for Lori Lightfoot. But Lori Lightfoot, if you don't know, she was the former mayor of Chicago before Brandon Johnson. Mm-hmm. And at this step, maybe y'all probably should have kept Lori Lightfoot, because Brandon Johnson is a lot worse than Lori Lightfoot was. I have to admit that, ladies and gentlemen. So Dolton wants to know what's up with the bag. Tiffany ran off with the bag. Mm-hmm. Tiffany is hiding receipts. She's not being accountable with the town's money. Mm-hmm. And everybody want to know what is the deal. Right. So they decided to reach out to Lori Lightfoot. Now, Lori Lightfoot, she was an attorney. Lori Lightfoot actually was a former federal prosecutor. Okay.
Oh, shit.
So when people talk about why they reach out to her, well, I mean, being a former federal prosecutor, attorney, former mayor, probably would be a person you would think maybe could look into it, since she was a mayor of Chicago, which has a much bigger bag than Dolton have. And Lori Lightfoot was never accused of stealing money, missing money, or none of that. She wasn't ever accused of that. So let me go ahead and cue this up so y'all can see what happened with that. And you'll hear from Lori Lightfoot herself. Let's just kind of talk about it a little bit here.
A special investigator to the village of Dolton at a rate of $400 per hour to investigate the following matters. 1, the May 2023 Las Vegas trip, including all expenditures, all allegations of misconduct, and all internal investigations, if any, along with any village, state, and federal law violations. 2,
And
the
that
spending of
motherfucker
ARPA
couldn't come
funding
over
without
here
going
and
out for
donate
bid
to
and or failing
Frontline
to
Black
properly spend
News.
ARPA funds. 3,
That's
failure to
bad
provide
news.
a full accounting of all ARPA funds spent. 4, hiring contractors without going to bid or requesting the RFP. 5, hiring the contractors without the approval of the corporate authorities. 6, making payments to vendors without the approval of the corporate authorities. And 7, paying the village prosecutor Delgado Law Group over $900,000 over the last 2.5 years. So we're going to do a motion. I'll make that motion. I'll ask for a second. We will go into discussion thereafter to further. So I'll make a motion.
Let's get the lights here,
y'all. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for that incredibly warm and welcome reception. Let me first acknowledge and thank the many residents of this fine village who have extended themselves and given me strong words of encouragement. I can tell from this turnout, there's got to be close to 200 people here, that people in this village want something different, want to go in a different direction. And I want to assure you that it's for you that I'm here. And I will do my utmost if this motion is passed to make sure that I serve you with integrity.
I wish the fuck you
I also want to acknowledge and thank the trustees who are here. And thank you for your confidence in me to conduct a thorough and timely and independent investigation into the matters outlined in the motion regarding Mayor Tiffany Henyard and her administration. As someone who's made good governance the cornerstone of my public service career, I recognize maintaining the trust of those you serve and making decisions in their best interest is absolutely essential. The residents of Dolton deserve nothing less than a government that is fully accountable,
you don't trust no goddamn
transparent,
politician in the
and
state of
effective
Illinois.
stewards of your precious tax dollars.
What the hell is this being
As a lawyer and former federal prosecutor and mayor, I bring expertise in leading investigations of this kind and understand the complex challenges of government. I will commit to you that I will follow the facts where they lead without bias and reserve comments from this night forward until the work is complete. At the conclusion of this investigation, I will provide an assessment of the findings and the recommendations, and I welcome it and urge the full cooperation by Mayor Henyard, her staff, all village trustees, vendors, and others who have information relevant to this inquiry. Thank you very much.
Well, the people, I wanted to make sure to play that part. It was all mostly black people there that was clapping and celebrating that, Mayor Lightfoot is there to do an investigation. I saw some people say, well, why won't she hire, why don't they hire a forensic auditing firm? I'm pretty sure if she was a fighter or prosecutor, and I'm gonna kind of just go somewhere with this, I think she being a part of this for a few reasons. Definitely some of it could be to get her back in the good graces of people, because you remember when Mayor Lightfoot, actually, got voted out, she kind of got voted out tarred and feathered a little bit, kind of like an embarrassment. Yep. So what better way to get back in the good graces of a lot of people is expose the super mayor of what she's doing. So with her being tied in, being a former federal prosecutor, attorney, remember there's an FBI field office in Chicago. Remember that. So, she
Yeah,
going
the
to
same
have
ones that knocked
information
off
coming
Fred
in,
Hampton. You read
to
about
help
that
her,
there,
assist
Mr.
her,
Scott?
probably from the FBI.
There's one
That's
there in
a
Denver,
given,
too.
since they're right there, and she used to basically work with them all the time.
Away from it.
She was a mayor, as I said earlier. So I think this action, Tiffany, I think she has 60 days to do her job. She's everybody talking about her getting paid $400 an hour. Okay, so what?
And they want a
They only paying her
motherfucker to go out there and
$30,000,
work
but it turns up to
for
$400 an
$5
hour. Well, if you're gonna hire a
And
forensic
this
auditing
motherfucker is
firm,
making
you're gonna need some of that money to do so. Which
$3,200 a
if
day.
anybody would be smart, they would hire a forensic firm because she's not. But that's what prosecutors do anyway. Even when you look in, when federal prosecutors going after people, they have all kind of people looking into the money, looking into the finances. And see, this is the issue for Tiffany right here. Once they really start going dig into it, if she's committing wire fraud, that's that charge you really don't want. It's a wire fraud charge.
Yeah, that's a federal offense.
Tiffany haven't went on social media. If y'all been paying attention to this, she went on social media, kind of run off at the mouth. She real jazzy when people talking about they're investigating her, but I haven't seen her talk too much after this. Now I see people in here talking about there's a town hall right now. Okay, there's a town hall right now. I'll view it. If it's something for us to review, we'll come back tomorrow and talk about it. I don't like a bunch of dead space on a video. I mean, some things people say they're babbling. I don't want to bore you with that. I'd rather take the parts that it means something.
Right.
But I think Tiffany needs to be concerned about this one. Also, what happened on that Vegas trip with the SA, you know what I mean by SA? I think she needs to be concerned about that, because I think that is even worse, because, what the police officer said that the trustee allegedly done, and he showed him the girl sleeping on the bed and pulling her clothes back and showing him this and showing him that. And she was, she said she didn't consent. And that when she went to Super Mayor and told her what was going on, she was saying she would handle it, this alleged, she would handle it because this can't get out, because this would ruin me and all the work I've done. That's not a good thing either, especially you being a woman. You going allegedly now. You did this to another woman, and then you end up basically retaliating on her and firing her, which we have so many laws against that.
You know what?
Retaliation
against
people being
with the same seat. The person that is occupying the seat that I'm running for right now, Shabaka.
Yeah.
They are being investigated for that same shit, or sexual assault, and with a former employee or staff, and it's looking real bad, and it's all Democrats. It's goddamn Democrats.
Yeah.
That's the one.
So you got reptilians.
That's the one, Shabaka, that called herself running for mayor while she was still at the State House.
Wow. Career politicians.
Yeah, so y'all go ahead and check that out. Season 3. I forgot what episode. But go back into our archive, season 3, because I was in the midst of the campaign, and we definitely covered that thoroughly. And then this case goes all the way back to when I ran for city council at large.
Right.
So, there's a lot of corruption going on. I'm gonna let Uncle Phil continue, because he's got another clip of her speaking about the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard.
In, SA or harassment or whatever the case may be. So, Tiffany got a lot going on, and I laugh at her, and I think she's a character in a lot of ways. I think she's funny. And I think maybe she should have did a show or did a social media platform, but in the area of the people's money,
not a laughing matter.
Yeah, you can't be doing that, sis. You can't. And when people are telling you, why you let it get this far? And you could at least came clean on some things and halfway try to fix it. but you didn't want to do that. You want to run around Dolton acting like, you know, you a freaking dictator from whatever country you want to call, right? You putting billboards up all over the place of yourself, like they do in countries with dictators. You run around here with the police and, you know, shaking people down, run up on people talking about, hey, you know, you want to donate to my campaign? Like, nah, I'm cool. And then you start canceling business licenses. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different things this woman's been doing while people be like, man, she got to move.
Yeah.
But then every time they try, they remember what the trustee said, that she spent $900,000 with I think Delgado law firm. Well, you know, people have been trying to get rid of her. It's not like they haven't been trying. They've been trying to recall her and all of that. Case in point, let me put this up on the screen real quick so you can see this woman's so narcissist. This is what she puts up right here. Recall null and void. I am and forever will be Dolton's mayor. No weapon that is formed against you will succeed. Boy, look, but the super mayor, she a trip, isn't she? Isn't she a trip?
Yes.
I mean, this is what she put up after the recall effort, you know, failed to remove her. Why the people wanted to recall her? Because she's not doing right with the money. Right. It's just bottom line. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a majority black American town.
Yeah.
Okay. And they want her gone. They was happy to have her, but she messed that up.
Yeah.
So I can't really feel bad for her or what's going on. But the deal is she's doing all this stuff in people's face. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, you put something up that, like, okay, I am and forever will be Dolton's mayor. Really, Tiffany? Really? Like, God. Oh, Lord. This woman here. Yeah. Tiffany, yeah, Kellen's right. Tiffany is like Trump in some ways. But I'm telling you, Tiffany would fit in real good in Nigeria. She need to go be Nigeria's next president. She'll fit in real good over there. All right, but other things that she'll post. Give me a second. Let me show y'all something else this woman posted.
Hey guys, it's Super Mayor Tiffany A. Henyard, the people's mayor. So I heard you guys was looking for me. If you're looking for Tiffany Henyard, subscribe button. Yes, you. Press the subscribe button. So, what you want me to talk about? This or that? This and that? Or me? Tiffany A. Henyard. You pick. Put your questions in the comments, and I'm going to answer all questions. Just be respectful. If you disrespectful, I'm not going to answer it. Because remember, the tea with the receipts. Matter of fact, if you want the tea, get it from me. Go tell that.
Lord Jesus. This woman is talking about the repos because remember that she wasn't paying the bills, even though the trustees approved the money to go pay the bills for the police cars. So when she mentioned the repos, the people was writing them say, hey, we about to repo these police cars because y'all not paying. Y'all got a $70,000 bill and y'all haven't paid it. So we going to repo that. Okay, so that's why she's talking about the repos. You know about the Vegas situation. All that went down there. All this is a joke for her. This is a big joke. Like black people's money is a joke. It's funny. I'm going to create a podcast. I'm going to create a YouTube. This is funny. Hey, talk to me. I got the tea, guys. Like, holla at me. Like this. It's funny. Yes, on the surface, it is funny. I ain't gonna lie. It's very funny. But when we get to reality, this isn't funny.
Right.
And then the problem is she's literally a stereotype now. Mm-hmm. That's what this is the part that I don't like.
Yeah. She's
a stereotype. And I don't like when we become a stereotype. I don't like it. It bothers me because Tiffany Henyard, she embarrassing. Tiffany Henyard could have done real good for black people in Dolton. Well, what leaders don't understand, if you just do right by your people, they wouldn't care if you flew first class. I'm telling you, if you took care of all your residents, you made sure the schools are good, the roads are good, man, the police treat everybody with respect, hospitals are great, business community is happy. Nobody would have cared if Tiffany stayed at the Four Seasons. Nobody would have cared if she flew first class. Nobody would have cared if she went to Chicago and got box seats to watch the Bears or something. nobody would have cared if she took care of her people. Like, I don't know why these leaders, what does this person say? Eric Gray said, we had a temporary revocable delegation of people like Tiffany Henyard when they'll be able to showboat like she does. You know, you got people like that, but you got people enabling her too, though, Eric. That's what it is. They enabling her. Instead of saying, Tiffany, no, we're not going to support you. The police are actually something in that town to say, no, Tiffany, we're not giving you no security detail. And she mentioned in that piece, security. She's paying $1 million security. You're not the president of the United freaking States.
Right.
How is it you're paying $1 million for security, but Brandon Johnson isn't doing it? And he's a mayor of a major city right next door to you? Brandon Johnson don't run around with Chicago police like that, but why is she doing it?
Right.
That doesn't make sense. Why are you so important? Somebody want to get at you, but they don't want to get at Brandon Johnson, who is over Chicago. So she went and got that Tahoe that she I think on a lease, correct? Overpaid for a trekked out Tahoe or whatever she did over there. I mean, this is stupid. This is utterly stupid. The whole thing this woman is doing, and this is why black people are upset in that time. Once again, she's funny. She's a very funny person. She's a personality. I give her that.
Yeah.
But is all that stealing worth it?
No.
All that finessing you doing with the money, is it worth it? I mean, it's a matter of time, ladies and gentlemen, that this woman is going to be taken down. It's just a matter of time.
Right.
You know, I'd be surprised she make it to the end of the year. I'll be shocked. Because this woman here is doing too much. And the thing is, not only you doing too much, you just throwing in people's face, which make people even more upset.
Yep.
Then you got an attitude. When people tell you something, then you don't want the trustees telling you anything. And you wrong, Tiffany. And then I still go back to Boulay Martin. Let me go back to Boulay Martin for a minute.
No,
Boulay Martin. Boulay Martin had this woman on his show. Do you know he also in a Boulay Martin interviewed that brother that was in the beginning of the video? Let me see if I can pull this brother back up. Where is he at? Let me go back to that brother right.
Without the approval
brother right
of the
here.
corporate authorities.
So Boulay Martin interviewed this brother right here. Do you know Boulay Martin had more smoke for this brother right here on the screen who haven't stole a dime from Dolton, trying to find out what's going on with Dolton. He got more smoke for that brother, but when Boulay had the super mayor in his face, he was soft shooting. But what is there to expect from Boulay Martin? I mean, you know, we can't expect him to actually, because, you know, remember, the super mayor is a Democrat, right? So is he really going to hold Democrats to the fire? No. Never. See, even if you like Democrats, you don't let Democrats do other black people wrong. Even if you love a hardcore Democrat, for whatever reason you're a Democrat, do you? But yeah, Sydney. She going to jail. And when they take her to jail, they're gonna make that a public spectacle. You gonna be thinking they caught Al Capone all over again. They gonna make a spectacle of her. Oh boy, they trust me. They gonna call all the white media and say, hey, we're gonna get her today. All y'all show up. Trust me, they gonna make a public spectacle of her.
Oh yeah,
pretty much.
You better believe they're gonna make a public spectacle. Well, Dorothy, the thing is, it's like you wrong, but then you lean into the wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like she not only doubles down, she triples down on her wrong. And the thing is, it came out that, you know why Sister Girl has so laid and she has all this, you know, you could tell she a makeup artist is doing her stuff like, well, Sister Girl they say has spent over $7 grand on her hair and on her beauty things. So most people pay for their own. Oh no, not Super Mayor. No, the taxpayer paid for her hair to be laid. That's why that woman's hair is not out of place. I give her that. Her hair is so laid. I never see her hair not looking good. It's always looking good. Her makeup is always straight. Oh, because the taxpayer paying it. Man, Tiffany living it up. And she's so cold, she gave herself a raise, $300,000. But if she ever gets voted out, then the salary goes down to $25,000. So she papered herself up, right? Do you know she makes more than what somebody in Congress makes a year? Even though we know Congress makes more because they corrupt and they do a lot of backroom dealings with the lobbyists. And that's why when you see a person going to Congress who's a bartender like AOC, and all of a sudden now they're a millionaire, right? And you see, I'm just not calling her out, I'm just mentioning her. But that's how it usually goes because they all corrupt. I mean, they all corrupt. It's not just a super mayor. The super mayor is just too. She's too out front with it. There we go. Because all them listen, the majority of politicians are stealing. Why you think they stay in those jobs, even in Congress, and they literally dying in those jobs? They so freaking corrupt because look all the money they getting. All the money, trust me, you talk about forensic auditors, if they would do forensic audits of every congressional member, Senate, mayor, you name it, all of them will be going to jail. Because all of them are taking money. Like if they talking about investigating Eric Adams because he supposedly took some money allegedly from some Turkish people for a permit or whatever, right? How many times has that happened?
Right.
Well, if you just donate to my campaign, maybe I can get that permit for you. See, they don't let black politicians get away with certain things like that. But I know the white ones do it all the time. We know that. But we know the white ones got immunity of law. They can get away with doing underhanded, undermining things. But as a black politician, you got to follow the letter of the law. But that's racism, white supremacy in this country. We have to follow the letter of the law. They can break the law because they have, the social currency of whiteness.
Yeah.
But you better believe they all are corrupt. It's just not the super mayor. The only difference, like, once again, only difference is that she's just being too upfront with it. That's the only difference.
Only difference. Uncle Phil. Right, Shabaka, what's your thoughts on this?
Okay, my thoughts on that, man. If they're gonna put her in jail, and let her walk the concrete, then put them other bastards in there with her and let them be cellmates, man. You know what I'm saying? Because to quote Brother Malcolm, it is the most highly policed community that has the highest amount of crime. So surely the cops must be in cahoots with the criminals.
Because they are the criminals and the biggest damn gang in the country.
Yes, sir. That is true. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, we don't be having time for this bullshit no more with the inclusion of illusion.
And they really think they're above the law. They just getting a hissy fit behind a couple of them going to prison or jail.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? It's just a fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? But however, these are these current times. You know what I mean?
Oh, this is what's going on.
Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? And then they playing us all for idiots and these sycophant ass, black ass politicians is serving everybody's agenda, but their own. The Ma'afa, a disaster so bad it is beyond description.
Oh, description.
Yeah.
All right, so I hope Jay Millie's still with us. I hope he's still with us. But the next topic is in San Jose, Shabaka.
Okay, Santa Clara County. Okay.
And it's starring a former pig who killed a black person or attempted to during arrest. And he wants to relocate the trial 300 miles from its original site.
To where?
That's what we're going to learn from, I believe it's Professor Black Truth again. I think it is Professor Black Truth.
Okay.
No, it's Lisa. Shout out to Lisa. It's Lisa Cabrera.
Okay.
So, straight with it. A little over 10 minutes.
Y'all remember this dude? This is former San Jose police officer Mark McNamara. And
McNamara. And he is a racist piece of fucking shit. And he's burning whatever crack of hell exists, because we know, thanks to, I think it's Leonard Jeffrey Shabaka, that it's just a condition. It's not an actual place. So, and as long as we're under a global system of racism and white supremacy, there will be no justice. We're living the opposite of what they're saying.
Oh yeah.
And justice, and these pigs are just now getting held accountable for their actions. So this bastard attempted to kill a black person or several black people. That's supposed to uphold the law, but like you said, Shabaka, they're just policy enforcers. And what is that policy? White is right. You can't go wrong with white. That's the order of the day. That's the biggest religion. That's not a religion in the world.
Exactly.
So
you know what I'm saying?
What's the update on this piggy here? This neo-Nazi fucking race soldier. Finally being held accountable for his actions.
He got fired when he shot a black college football player in an incident where it was a fight that broke out at a restaurant, and the guy that he shot was actually trying to break the fight up. And he had a weapon because somebody pulled a gun. He was able to get the gun away. So when McNamara and other police officers came on the scene, instead of trying to find out what's going on, he came and just discharged his weapon on the very guy that pretty much saved everybody's life in that restaurant if he didn't take that gun. That's the guy he shot. So now it all came out, you know, he put out a series of all these racist texts. So he's getting ready to go on trial. And he wants his case all of a sudden moved 300 miles away. I think it should be denied. When he was a cop, he didn't have a problem being racist in San Jose. So why should it be moved somewhere else? You know, I notice all of these cops get in trouble with the law, especially when they're dirty cops. They always want the case moved. Amber Geiger wanted hers moved. And we know Derek Chauvin, he wanted his case moved. Every time they're doing something shady,
that's all,
or harming somebody that should never have been harmed, all of a sudden the trial should be moved somewhere else. And it should be denied, as far as I'm concerned. He doesn't deserve that at all.
Oh, I agree.
So let's get into this latest update on Mark McNamara. San Jose police officer who sent racist texts asked to move case 300 miles away. A former San Jose police officer who quit the day the chief released a set of racist text messages he sent to two friends is asking the judge to move the case 300 miles away because he thinks he won't get a fair trial in Santa Clara County. Now, isn't it amazing? This dude was unfair to people when he worked as a police officer. He was unfair to people, but he expects people to be fair. Isn't that so typical?
It's downright sickening.
Now he's concerned about fair when he has spent his career as a cop being unfair. Never ceased to amaze me. In court filings, the attorney for Mark McNamara cited 12 print and TV news stories about his situation involving several published by KTVU. So he
that's
did
out of
this
Oakland.
whole incident in public.
Yeah.
Of course, people are going to talk about it. He shot a college student that should never have been shot.
Right.
It's
Okay,
called
he
murder.
shot somebody that was really trying to, make sure no one in that restaurant got shot by someone that brought a gun in there. All right. If anything, that college student was the hero in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Last month, McNamara's attorney was asking the U.S. District Court, Nathaniel M. Cousins, to move his upcoming civil trial to Eureka, McKinleyville area, just south of the Oregon border. In an opposing motion, attorneys for Kanawha Green, a Black college football player whom McNamara shot and injured on the steps of a restaurant 2 years ago, said there's no need to move the trial. The stories have not. They said, they're really overinflating everything. The stories that came out really was not that big on him, and it should not be moved. So this is what the college student, his attorney, this is what he's saying. So there's no way this should be granted, Green's attorney said. Adante Pointer, that's his attorney's name. So Cousins was originally supposed to rule on this change of venue request later this month. However, McNamara's legal team is now appealing Cousins' ruling to permit Green to present his case to the jury in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Defendants often use appeals as a way to delay or discourage plaintiffs, Pointer said. We are committed to fighting for justice for Mr. Green. No decision on the change of venue will be made until the Ninth Circuit renders a ruling. Green is suing McNamara's alleged excessive force inspired by racism, and the shooting should now be considered a hate crime. Now, this dude, not only did he shoot this innocent college student, he sent out racist text messages that same day after shooting him. And the following day, he got an attorney. He started putting out racist text messages, not only for Green, but his attorney too, who happens to be a Black man.
So he got a
this is the kind of person that should never be allowed to be a cop in the first place. But unfortunately, because of the state America is in, it's allowed.
Well, remember that report that came
It's
out?
allowed. In fact, there's too many Mark McNamaras on police forces all around this country. And they don't see any problem until that cop turns around and brings that same type of abuse down on them. Then all of a sudden, we've seen it. All of a sudden, the cop is wrong. The cop is terrible. The cop's a coward. The cop's this. See, when it turns into an attack on them folks, then all of a sudden the cop ain't no good. But as long as the attack is on our people, the cop is great. Okay, the cop is great. So they're saying no decision has been made in a change of venue. And I don't believe it should be changed. I really don't. Screw McNamara.
Yeah.
So he was one of the San Jose police officers who responded to La Victoria. This was March 27th, 2022, after someone called 911 to say there was a brawl inside and one of the customers had a gun. The call came about 30 minutes after a homicide was reported a few blocks away. Police originally thought the two scenes might be related. Well, they should never have come to that conclusion until they actually showed up. See, good police work would have been show up and find out what's going on.
Right. Actually,
lousy police work is show up and just start shooting.
Right.
So anyway, meanwhile, Green had been inside of the restaurant at the time, and he ended up wrestling away the gun from an armed, drunk customer. And like I said, that college student, Green, he literally saved everybody in that restaurant. It's no telling what would have happened if he didn't get that gun away from another customer that was in there, but the customer was very drunk and starting a fight. So anyway, Green was exiting the restaurant with the confiscated weapon in his hand, and then McNamara ordered him to drop it and then shot him 4 times. McNamara was the only officer to fire a weapon. Yeah, it must have been about 3 other officers with him. Yeah. Nobody fired their weapon except for McNamara.
Yeah, McNamara was the only one.
The other officers had their guns drawn, but they did not fire. So it just goes to show you the only one that didn't have any sense was McNamara.
Mm-hmm.
So KTVU has learned McNamara sent those text messages to a coworker who was on leave and another person by the name of William Billy Haggerty, who worked for San Jose PD from 2017 to 2020. So he sent one to a coworker and then someone that was a former police officer, no longer working there. The text messages dated the day of and day after the shooting. McNamara appears to refer to Green as the N-word, wanted to carry a gun in the Wild West. Not on my watch. Yeah, but McNamara is the only one acting like he's in the Wild West. Okay, nobody, like I said, nobody fired. It was plenty of other officers there, and he was the only one shooting. In another text, McNamara was pretty clear about how he feels, texting, "I hate Black people." Y'all remember this, right? I know you remember now if you didn't before. McNamara also wrote that Green should thank him for shooting him and that he doesn't care at all about what happened. I finally had to tell this city's attorney what's what. McNamara text. Like, dude, I don't give a S about this case. I'm white. He's Black. He's gonna win. And I don't care. It's a B. Whatever they decide has no bearing on me whatsoever. It's basically kangaroo court. Wow. This guy should not be allowed to be. You know what? The only thing we should be reading about, y'all, not moving the case 300 miles away from where it happened. How come there's no chatter about taking this guy's peace license away? You know, just like Memphis. Remember in Memphis, you know, they wanted to take the peace license, and they did. They took the peace license away from those cops that beat Tyree Nichols, right? Well, how come there's no chatter about taking McNamara's peace license away from him? Now, I think they said he's not allowed to be a cop in California, which means he can cross state lines and be a cop somewhere else.
Colorado.
But you know, it's not about being a cop in California. When you have this kind of mentality, you shouldn't be allowed to be a cop anywhere. He should be barred nationwide. Find another profession. And really, you shot an innocent man. That really diffused the situation at the restaurant. You should be in jail for that. There's no telling what health problems he's going to have for the rest of his life. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to Frontline Black News. Well, we're going to bid the Black Cat a good night. He burnt up all his data, so he will no longer be joining us on the stream. Not about you. So I'm solo dolo, but the show must go on. So my thoughts on this is, man, this is everything that we talk about. Straight up race soldier, upset because he's being held accountable for his actions, and he want to relocate the case, the trial, to 300 miles away to Oakland. It's a trip. So yeah, I hope he gets tried and convicted of murder in the first degree. There was clearly intent there, and he needs to get his. It's about time these race soldiers start doing time for the crimes that they commit on a daily basis all throughout this country. And a reckoning is underway. And you're gonna get y'all's. Just know. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so he's still watching. Okay, Shabaka, I see you. Understandable. Okay, well, he's still with us. Keep it rolling. So the next topic is, finally, after all this time, Americans demand that squatters, I'm trying to get the whole title of it. Americans demand immediate action against squatters and vow to treat them as trespassers. So we'll give us the update on that. The revolutionary agenda is Black experience agenda.
Thanks to all of these illegals coming into the country, squatting in houses is just ramping up everywhere now. And Americans are fed up and will treat squatters as trespassers. And you can thank old Joe Biden for all of this because he's still got the borders open. So the vast majority of Americans believe that squatters are trespassers and will treat them as such. So squatters,
as a matter of fact, Black family, what is now Central Park used to be a little place in New York called Seneca Village. And they said the same thing about them, that they were squatting on the land that they were originally on. So, and then they got reclassified as Negro, and it got all convoluted from there. And they bought that whole island of Manhattan at the time, the equivalent of $25 million. It was really $26 back then. So it's a trip. So now We want to get on these illegals that's been running up in these cribs that's been vacant and squatting in them for years, months and years. And one of them just finally got caught for displaying this and educating his people on the squatter laws in the states that they were illegally living in. So gonna give us the update. I just want to get that out there.
Well, what these illegals do, they look around for a vacant property or a property that's, not being occupied, and they don't see anyone living there, so they will go and take over the home. So these residents can currently claim squatters' rights in places like New York after occupying the property just 30 days. But New York State Assembly may move to redefine squatters and trespassers. And y'all know why these laws are written as they do, because your colonizer, they are your original squatters. So they had to write the laws in a way that justified them coming, stealing the land, and occupying the places on the land.
That's exactly what they did.
So anyway, that's why you got jacked up laws on the books. So anyway, back to this. So now they're doing what Florida did. They're redefining squatter laws as trespassers. So, it's a subcategory of tenants under the law. If this legislation passes, it will be easier for homeowners to remove squatters from their property. Some 71% of the voters support the plan, according to a new survey. Polls follow a spate of high-profile clashes between squatters and homeowners, which has shown the light of phenomena. Well, actually, it wouldn't be like this if you didn't have all this illegal immigration going on, at the border, and these folks are piling all up in here, and what's so funny, y'all, for years they kept telling us, well, the Hispanics, they have more babies and they'll outnumber you. No, they're not having more babies. You just opened up the border to let them all in. That's a hell of a difference. They're not dropping all them babies like y'all claiming. Y'all dragging them over the border. That's what's going on.
Yep, the anchor babies.
So anyway, while a Texas homeowner slammed his local police, alleging they took the side of the squatter when he tried to evict a man from his property earlier this month. And New York was among one of the most lenient states when it comes down to squatting laws in the U.S., but some lawmakers are now hoping to change that with a new bill introduced by New York State Senator Mario Mortera. So, and it seems that the plan is widely supported across the country. This is according to a Newsweek poll. Legal expert and author Godfrey S. Korn said in an email, tightening the laws that prohibit squatting and making it more efficient to end through a legal process make logical sense to me. If the people want that, this is how democracy and lawmaking should be. Nonetheless, Korn, a professor of criminal law, Texas Tech University School of Law, sounded a note of caution. I would hope the state legislature are very direct in emphasizing the legal limits of self-help. Trespass would not allow homeowners to take the law into their own hands with deadly force, he noted. For me, the bottom line is simple. Life is always more valuable than property, even the life of a squatter or someone who trespasses. And so as long as there is an opportunity to seek law enforcement intervention to address the unlawful presence It is nearly impossible for me to believe a claim of urgent necessity to employ deadly force is reasonable. Right. I mean, I understand what he's saying, but the bottom line is people are tired of law enforcement too, because many of the recent stories that I have read, when law enforcement come on the scene, they will tell the homeowner there's nothing they can do, or they need to take it to civil court and try to get them out. That's the kind of stuff the police will say to people when they have a squatter in their house. So they're really not helping the situation at all. And in most cases, they don't get the squatter out of there. They'll just leave after telling the homeowner there's really nothing they can do. I mean, it's really bad. A lot of people are falsifying lease and deeds on these properties. And I mean, it's really a bad situation. Nevertheless, Korn, professor, he also said that as long as the opportunity to seek law enforcement intervention to address unlawful presence, yeah, but people have been doing that. And that's why they are now fed up, and they want something done. They want a more immediate solution to what's going on when it comes down to squatting. So they did a poll recently between April 6th and 7th and suggest that people think squatters are no more than trespassers. Some 4,000 people were questioned for a survey, and the respondents were all eligible voters in the U.S. who range in ages, genders, ethnicity, and educational levels. A total of 71% said they supported New York's bill, with 49% strongly supporting the move to treat squatters as trespassers and 22% merely supporting it, in contrast to 8% that disagree with the bill, with 5% opposing it and 3% strongly opposing it. The rest of the respondents neither opposed nor supported 15%, or did not know how they felt about the matter. The poll also questioned other things surrounding the topic of squatter occupation. Some 61% said they opposed the idea of squatters' rights in general, with just 18% of respondents supporting the concept. The remaining respondents neither supported nor opposed the concept, 15%. So, the figures vary, but it seems like the majority of the people are for treating squatters as trespassers. 66% of the people believe the current law in New York is too lenient, believe squatters should never be given rights, no matter how long they have inhabited a property. Matera told Newsweek by email on Tuesday that the polling data underscores a critical consensus among Americans, especially New Yorkers, that our current squatting laws are far too lenient and are being exploited to the detriment of homeowners and communities. Your poll and information shows overwhelmingly 71% of respondents support the move to refine squatters as trespassers rather than tenants.
Okay.
A clear indication that the public sentiment aligns with the aggressive stance of the bill that's being presented in New York. So, I mean, I certainly understand that nobody wants to be in that situation. And number two, if you didn't have, I still go back to the border. If you didn't have open borders to America, this thing probably would have still been bad in the country, but it would never have spiraled out of control like it is now. You know, it floored me when I did the article just 2 days ago, and it was saying 1,200 properties in just one big area in Atlanta are occupied by illegal squatting and homes. That is an awful lot of homes being occupied. 1,200. Oh boy. So, y'all, I think there should be better protections in place for homeowners. And I think when someone is squatting in a house and the homeowner or people find out and report it, the response to get that person out, or family or whoever's up in there, should be immediate. It should be immediate. It should not be drawn out for years or months. It shouldn't be that way. It should not be that way at all. And I think they should get in trouble if they falsify any documentation saying that they're leasing or putting a fake deed or anything in place. Then there should be a price to pay for that.
Right.
They shouldn't just walk away and that's it. That's just my opinion. But y'all,
Lisa, I definitely agree with you. Myself, I actually squatted in a spot for like 5 years, and the landlord had never reported it. So it was a weird arrangement with that. So it was like you could be raided any day type situation. He never reported it. We have to pay rent collectively. At one point, it was like 13 people in this house. It's just right over there on the east side. That's that man. Baccs is always calling my team. The Pony Express. It was the Post Pony Palace, y'all. Getting back to this. It's about time something be done about this shit. These motherfuckers is literally coming across the border talking about erase all borders. No, motherfucker, then you ain't got no country. You just, what the hell you talking about? You can't do that shit in other countries, but they're just entitled to every goddamn thing. And now they're here and they're running a goddamn muck. So, yeah, we need to put a stop to this shit here. That needs to go. Back to their homeland. Fight for that. Build that up. Stop coming over here trying to eat off of us. But them days are over, so. Squatting is over for you illegal immigrants, migrants, bullshit ass newcomers. I know damn newcomers are breaking the law, the immigration law. There's a process. Me and Lady Che know because we got family that literally have went through the process and just now getting their visas. So it's definitely a process to this shit, and these motherfuckers is literally jumping the line, jumping the border, jumping across, fighting the border patrol, fighting the police, all that shit. Like we showed y'all all this on Frontline Black News. This is exactly why y'all need to donate, support the cause. It costs money to keep giving y'all this information, so I'm gonna put that in the chat real quick before I play this clip. Because you know how they love to flag us. They're always flagging us behind some shit. So they say 3 strikes you're out. We're on 2 right now. Please donate to the cause, y'all. And that is JLP 5280. Seduction Doll 13. Jail people 280. Ducks Dog 13 and Baccs and Corey. You still have the same cash app, Shabaki? Type it in the chat, please. Shout out to the viewers. Appreciate y'all staying up late with us on this. Monday, early morning, Monday morning now, where I'm at. It's almost 1 a.m. here. And, Sunday night edition of the Frontline Black News. We're in our 4th season, y'all, so we can use our help. So please, whatever you have, please donate to the cash apps on your screen, at the bottom of your screen. We could definitely use it. It costs money to keep this information, this news, this black news, this news that we need. Black people need to hear, rather foundational Black Americans, the Center of American child slavery, freedmen, or need to hear, because as I was saying, we are in an emergency. Black family, so collectively, now, vision is doing well. We have black billionaires and millionaires, but that don't trickle down to the average peasant, if you will. That don't trickle down like that. So you can't sit up here and say that we're doing good because you got a few token Negroes that you showcasing in front of, and we're supposed to live vicariously through them. No, them days are over. So just have to get that out there. So shout out to the Outlaws though. We're moving to not Milwaukee, but Madison, rather, the capital of Wisconsin, which is the cheese state, and it's racist as hell out there too, just like in the other 49 states. But yeah, we're gonna get the update from Hip Hop TD Media, former TD Hip Hop Media, but now he's TD, about the situation in Madison, the capital of Wisconsin.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining. Please make sure that is most you can do does that to help. So make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get their notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell notification. Make sure you share this with your family, friends, in the YouTube algorithm. Now get into today's news. And in today's news, we are headed to Madison, Wisconsin. We're headed to Madison, Wisconsin, and the story that I'm going to be delivering to you today really expresses and highlights the corruptness of government. And I know that's a very simplistic statement to make, because we all know that government is corrupt. But just look at this here and look at how ridiculous this is, because this, what I'm going to show you right now, shouldn't even be a topic of discussion. City of Madison allocates $700,000 in C-19 relief money to supporting illegal immigrants. Why on God's green earth would any city and or state have C-19 funds still left over? The American Rescue Plan was signed into law and the money was doled out. What was it, back in 2021? We're now 3 years removed from that, 4 years removed from the original C-19 illness, and you're still sitting on funds? Why? This is just like when the news broke a few months back about Brandon Johnson giving $95 million in C-19 funds to illegal immigrants in Chicago. And then he had to reveal the fact that he still had $400 million in C-19 funds left over, aside from the $95 million. Why in the world, now speaking on Chicago briefly, do you have $500 million in C-19 funds lying around?
Right.
Why wasn't that issued out properly and accordingly to the U.S. citizens of said population? And the same question can be asked here concerning Madison, Wisconsin. No one should be holding on to this type of money still as it pertains to funds that came from the American Rescue Plan. But it just goes to show, and I'll say this in closing before I head into the article. I know it's not the most popular thing to say, because people will tend to tell you all the time, well, government can't solve your problems, government can't solve your problems. The reality is this: government can solve your problems, and it can solve problems overall in said city or state if that's the actual goal. If the actual goal is to solve problems concerning and surrounding crime and poverty, violence, failing infrastructure, failing school systems, they could solve the problems if they wanted to. And as you can see, they definitely have the funds, okay? Whether they're printing the money out of thin air or they're taking funds that were supposed to be used for a very specific reason and then pocketing it and holding on to it for God knows whatever the reason being. So they could do these things if they want to. They just continuously elect not to. But that's enough of me ranting and raving right now. Let me step down off my soapbox and let's get into this actual article, because that's what you came here for. Not to hear me pontificate over, how irritated I am with C-19 funds still getting left over when they should have been spent and doled out already to the citizen population. Right. So let's get into the actual information. And the article reads as such. The city of Madison, Wisconsin is spending $700,000 in federal C-19 relief fund on aid for illegal immigrants. The funding was disclosed in Madison's quarterly compliance report for the fourth quarter of 2023 and highlighted in a letter written Thursday by State Senator Dewey Strobel demanding further information. This earmark for illegal immigrants is alarming, since you point out these individuals would normally be ineligible for direct public assistance in many cases. He requesting further information about the allocation of over 600 has spent on services such as paying for utility bills, providing food assistance, and helping representation of the American Rescue Plan. President Joe Biden's one stimulus fund right by man received $2 million from the American Rescue Plan, state and local recovery component, and $20 million of those been allocated, including $1 million for illegal immigrants. Is committed to working with our state and federal partners to bring to light answers for the hardworking taxpayers of our state. IRG Director of Oversight Jake Curtis said in a statement. Some of the funding for illegal immigrants is being allocated to nonprofit community partners through a grant application process that began in March of 2022. And just to take a moment to pause, as you can see here, and I've read this numerous times concerning how other cities and states handle providing funds to legal immigrants, how they circumvent law is by giving the money over to nonprofits. And then it's up to the nonprofits to set up a system and structure by which legal immigrants can apply for said funds to get what they need. They give it to these nonprofits that none of us ever heard of. But that's how they circumvent the legality of it all, or the illegality of it all, for lack of better words. The funding was designed for services to residents who are undocumented and reported under the negative economic impacts expenditure category under the quarterly report. The city of Madison using taxpayer dollars to provide for illegal immigrants is yet another example of the waste and abuse of C-19 relief funds. And I have to agree with him on that. There needs to be accountability for American tax dollars, and that starts by cracking down on this misuse, said Representative Tom Tiffany. Among the immigration nonprofits to receive grants from Madison is the Community Immigration Law Center, a legal clinic that gives legal services to illegal immigrants facing deportation. Madison awarded the organization $100,000 in December of 2022. Organizations such as the Catholic Multicultural Center and the African Center of Community Development also received portions of the grant money as well. ARPA funding was a vital part of Madison's response to the C-19 illness and its wide-reaching impact on our community, said Madison Mayor Satya Rose Conway, a nonpartisan affiliated with the Democratic Party. Of course, a nonpartisan affiliated with the Democratic Party. Translation, you're a Democrat. Just keep it a buck, right? Let's be honest. But anyways, she would continue to say, we are proud of the work our community partners did with this funding and the difference that it made for some of the hardest hit residents and communities. Translation, we are proud and happy with the fact that we were successfully able to hide the fact that we were still holding on to money that should have went out to the citizen population, because more than likely we knew beforehand we would have to tap into these funds to deal with the migrant crisis before the American public even realized a migrant crisis was upon us. And that really puts me in that mind state. If I may take a moment to put my tinfoil hat on, take this hat off and put the tinfoil hat on. When I see what's happening in Madison, Wisconsin, and you place on top of that what I discussed concerning Chicago, how Chicago had $500 million left over in C-19 funding. What that tells me, in my opinion, I assume, if I put my tinfoil hat on, it tells me and speaks to me the thought that when the C-19 money went out, many of these cities already knew and understood, we're not going to do right by the citizens with this. What we're going to do is hold on to this for the coming migrant crisis now that Biden is in office. That's what we're going to do. We're going to hold on to this, and if need be, we'll be able to tap into these funds to pay for the migrant crisis affecting our cities, because we already know and understand beforehand what's coming, even before the citizen population understand. That's why there's still millions of dollars left over in these cities, and it's completely ridiculous. And it goes to show how much your local officials lie to you when you have all the issues that are plaguing your city and all the issues that are plaguing your community, but then they look at you and say, where are we going to get the money from? Maybe we can put some legislation on the ballot, and during the next election we can make the city decide on whether or not they want to do X, Y, and Z, but outside of that, we don't know what to do. No, they know exactly what to do. But the problem is that they withhold too much information and too much money from the citizen population to ever solve any problems. They lie to you over and over and over again and mislead you over and over and over again. And this is just another example of that. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news.
Yeah, thank you, Tony, for that. Yeah, that's exactly what they do. That's exactly what they do. I literally know firsthand that's exactly what they do. And I'm back in the race again. So, the next topic, y'all, is Black people, our people, FBA. Go back on camera. FBA, our people. We stood up to the police after they detained young brothers for eating pizza. Just existing in the Black body is detrimental in this society.
I want to say shout out to the Black people there in South Michigan, that stood outside of Hungry Howie's Pizzeria defending Black boys as they were being messed with by police officers. Now, I'm going to show you a portion of the video. It was about 5 minutes long, and it was from a sister who decided to film the interaction. Check it out.
Like, really? That's the problem. It's a whole mob, right? Right, and they don't got nothing but damn pizza. Who pay doing pizza? It's a mob, right? Y'all pay for y'all pizza, right? They can't leave until they can leave. Y'all get no stuff more. Y'all don't even know what the hell going on. Okay, why not, baby? So they say y'all can leave, y'all can't move, okay? Just relax. I know y'all scared. I'm great. How about you, sir? You guys already here from? They don't answer them damn kids for nothing. You got 20 cop cars up here. But when something serious happens, you can't even get one damn car. But you get 20 of them for 5 kids. That's crazy. And they parents can soon as stay in. That's harassment. They parents can soon stop them. That's harassment. Y'all just basically blackballed them because they was Black. That's all that is. And it was probably him. You see how honored and angry he is. It was probably him that initiated this. Take your voice. Come on, bro. Brother. Kuma don't make a right. We got it on camera. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Boys, what you gonna do? Y'all might as well boycott this one. Hell yeah, boycott. Hungry Howie the boys. These little boys are scared as hell. Then you can't tell them what y'all up here for or not.
So as you saw there, police officers had the Black boys, I guess, sitting there. And it sounds like maybe somebody inside of that pizzeria called on them. Now the sister asked them at the beginning of the video, y'all paid for y'all pizzas, right? And they said, yeah. So she also asked them to holler out y'all mama's numbers and stuff so we could call them, because the police officers were searching into their bags, and the Black people there was like, that's illegal. You need their parents' permission. They're minors. You can't do that. So the police officers were kind of apprehensive because they were being watched. And so the sister, along with a lot of the Black people, is like, this is not right. What are they doing? They're simply eating their pizza. Why do you need 20 to 25 officers out here on Black boys? And I love that the sister kept calling them babies, not that they're infants, but that they are children, because often in America, Black boys are seen as Black men. Of course, we know that Black men are seen as threats. And so if somebody from that pizzeria did call, I agree with that sister. They need to be boycotted. Black people don't go there no more, because it seems like there's a lot of Black people in that area, and perhaps a lot of Black people eat pizza from there, but don't eat no more pizza from there. If they feel like those Black boys are a threat, they weren't stealing pizza, they paid for their pizza, they're sitting there eating the pizza. So what's the big deal, right? So yeah, I agree with them. Don't eat no more pizza, but I also really love that those Black people was not leaving until those Black boys were all right. And it seems like those Black boys did not get arrested and the police officers took off. But would that have been the case if those good Black people were not there to make sure those Black boys were not harmed in any way, shape, or form? Were the police officers going to lie on them? Were they going to handcuff them or rough them up? And even worse, they might have, because we know throughout history that has happened a lot, even in 2024. So big ups to those brothers and sisters that said, not on our watch will you do that to our Black boys. So y'all tell me what you think of that. And again, no more Hungry Howie pizza for y'all Black people. Stay away from that pizza. So for more insightful commentary, please.
Thank you, Demetria K, for that insight. So yeah, shout out to the FBA Black family that stood up against the police while they were trying to terrorize and disturb our children, our babies, these young boys, Black boys, outside a pizza joint. Yeah, y'all definitely should boycott, let's say, whatever the name is. Just said definitely boycott them. And yeah, shout out to the community for standing up. Like, that's just what it's gonna take, Black family. Like, they can't. They said they see us as a threat, even as babies. They see us as a threat, and then they tell us, "Oh, it's all in your head." No, that's gaslighting, boo-boo, and it's not gonna work over here, because we already know what we're up against. So, shout out to the FBI family again for standing up. against the race soldiers that were obviously profiling and discriminating and doing what race soldiers do. So moving along on some more racist shit. Here in Denver we have a paper or a magazine called Westword. And of course, that Do Nothing Else organization that's always trying to get me involved in some shit. The people that I know out here, they brought this to my attention. I don't really read the Westword like that. I guess when I was like out and about a couple of times or a few times, it really ain't my thing. I've always seen it as a racist ass magazine, so I was like, I don't even know why they're surprised about this, but they are. And Jeff Fart and crew had covered it, so we'll give our take on it. Frontline Black News, Frontline Campaign take on it. So, share the tab. Oh, this is a story. Oh, there's a whole story that goes with it. Okay, let me see if I can get that in the Chrome. So y'all can see it. And we appreciate you staying up late with us. Whatever you can do to help the cause, please do. So, it says, this is from the NAACP State Conference, Colorado, Montana, and Wyoming, either Rocky Mountain region. Will protect, here we go with this black and brown shit. We already told y'all about that. Shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson. He told us about that as well, that they use this broad, ambiguous language, subscribers, and they try to lump us all in. So you get black and, but whenever something is Latino related, there's never no black and or brown and black. It's never that. It's always brown or Latino or everything is specifically to them. For some reason, these do nothing organizations like the NAACP that have been around for over 100 plus years, and really haven't done much of anything since the 60s, are concerned about this. So it says, I will protect black and brown children. I am protesting or boycotting the Westword. So if you're following me on Facebook, you can see I have changed my profile picture a couple of days ago. This is why. If you stand for protecting our children, please share support by copying and pasting this message and changing your profile picture. Shame on you, Westword, at Denver Westword. This is not good journalism ethics to distribute such a harmful illustration and headline. Scroll down, you'll see the headline. So, to distribute such a harmful illustration and headline, which is pure sensationalism. Shout out to Yanga. Yanga's always telling about the sensationalism that goes on. The pure sensationalism is distasteful and causes harm to black and brown boys. Do we have to remind you of Elijah McClain, who was murdered by Royal police officers and paramedics? They left that part out. If you do not see a problem with this as a news organization, then you all need diversity training immediately. We will not stand by and let you use a broad brush to paint all of our children, men in black and brown. That's all they said throughout the piece. But it's supposed to be black. It's obviously a black child that is pictured on this cover. Broad brush and paint them all as criminals. So the original criminals, ones that literally raped, pillaged, and stole everything they have, are labeling us as criminals, and our children in particular. And Westword, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves, but you had Ask a Mexican and stupid shit like that. Like, I think they did have a segment that was like Ask a Negro or some stupid shit. Like, it's always been a racist ass publication, so I don't even know why they're acting surprised. But Banned and Dangerous, Colorado's youngest criminals aren't kidding about DAs and other. So I'm gonna see if I can pull the whole article up by Chris Perez. Yeah, that's one of those black and brown. No wonder it was black and brown, because his motherfucking ass is supposed to be brown, and they said if you brown, you stick around, but if you black, you get the hell back. So that's what they go with. Oh, is that bars? Okay. So Chris Perez, you should see a same of yourself. And I'm gonna see if I can pull this article up for y'all so I can see this shit. In the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe to Frontline Black News. And donate to the cause if you can. See what pops up. No, that's an old article. Is this it? This is article. This is it. Forward to the past. Oh wow, that's like over 20 years old right there. No, that's not what I was looking for. Dangerous, armed and dangerous, and this just came out this month. That's been this month, April edition. Yeah, it's a monthly paper or magazine. Yeah, they're racist as hell. Sorry, y'all. I'm having a hard time searching things, so please bear with me. Oh yeah, I'm glad that pig resigned. Oh, I meant to cover that. I was hoping Lady Che was gonna cover that on the RBA, but she didn't. Okay, here it is, y'all. Also says, Colorado's youngest criminals aren't kidding around, and Metro Denver DAs unpack why. Since 2010, the juvenile murder rate in Colorado has skyrocketed by 210%, while violent crime as a whole is up 7%. So this is the back of this black child's head. Got headphones, got a hoodie, and got a gun in the bag. In her nearly 10 years as Denver DA, District Attorney Beth McCann, has never seen a murder defendant as young as the one accused of killing 60-year-old grandfather Richard Sanchez in January. Yeah, she gives me super racist vibes. But we're on panels with her, and yeah, she don't want to prosecute anything. She don't want to prosecute any pigs, any police officers. Like, seriously, she letting too much shit just go. So I'm glad she's done. So the candidate that we're looking at is this other white person, man, Lacey Owens. I hope she make the ballot so we can vote for her. But she's the only one that has publicly stated that she was going to hold the race soldiers accountable for harming black citizens. So that's a plus. And she has a record of doing that, apparently. So we're going to go into that further on future episodes, so stay tuned for that. Because Beth McCann is going to be in office until next year, which is 2025. So whoever wins this current DA race that's going on right now won't take office until then. So I don't know if I'm going to read this whole damn article. It's a long-ass article, y'all. Look at this. Okay, so this is a black and brown child. Yeah, Remy Cordova, just 14 years old, when he allegedly shot and killed Pamela Cabarrellis. That's definitely not an FBA. But okay, I literally shocked and frightened by some of the things I've seen in terms of what kids are doing, said DA Brian Manson of the 17th Judicial District. Oh, so I used to work for the 20th Judicial District here in Colorado, in a racist ass town called Boulder. And yeah, it's something else. So which covers Adams and Broomfield counties. Every single one of these crimes is senseless. Every single one of them. And that's why they're so frightened. There's no way to predict when someone is going to shoot a gun over a ridiculous conflict. Kids are literally killing kids, and they are fighting over the same things that kids have fought over for time immemorial. But they are now bringing guns to the fight. I have filed a homicide case that was about a purse. I have filed a homicide case that was committed over a girl. I have filed a homicide case over a pair of jeans. According to Manson, younger and younger kids are committing more violent crimes than ever before. There needs to be a wake-up call to our entire community. In Beth McCann's opinion, youth violence, particularly with guns, is the most serious issue facing not just Denver, but Colorado as a whole right now. While fentanyl is the other big one, she says that violent juvenile crime is something that she's grown more and more concerned about over the years. We have seen a pretty dramatic increase in juveniles with handguns in particular over the last few years, she says. Denver Handgun Intervention Program was rolled out in 2021 to offer second chances to minors convicted of first-time nonviolent firearm offenses. Anyone under the age of 18 who doesn't have any priors and qualifies is eligible to take part in a 6-week educational course and 6 months of probation, leading to the convictions being expunged. What we hear from the kids in the program is that he or she feels that they have to carry a gun to feel safe, McCann says. They feel like they have to carry a gun because everybody else has a gun. So it's an issue that we all need to be concerned about and focus on. So that's our current DA right there. Thoughts on it. Then there's another DA in the 18th district. They call it, oh God, the bloody 18th. It's bad though. It really is bad. That's why they have that horrible name for it. So DA John Kilner represents the 18th Judicial District, which covers Arapahoe, Douglas, Elbert, and Lincoln counties. And he too is calling on people to take notice of its daily increase. Youth violence is at crisis levels, he tells Westword. It's been trending that direction for several years and went on steroids throughout the COVID era. And what I see nowadays is more kids, more juveniles with guns that they brought illegally, oftentimes through social media, or they trade for. They're much more willing and ready to pull the trigger than used in the past. And they are carrying guns to basically accomplish their crimes more efficiently. What the data shows. Since 2010, the juvenile murder rate in Colorado has skyrocketed. Okay, I already read that part. By 210%, according to the Common Sense Institute, a nonpartisan research institute that released a study this month focusing on youth crime in the Centennial State. We are the Centennial State, or rather the Bicentennial State. We were created 100 years after the Declaration of Independence. This nation, this country came into existence 100 years later. Colorado became a state. So that's hence why we're called the Centennial State. So youth crimes against persons are up 16.6%. Violent crimes by 7%. Robberies by 12%. And aggravated assaults by 17%. Meanwhile, the number of juveniles being detained and held accountable has decreased by 70%, owing to statewide bed caps and a combination of new laws that have led to limited use of detention services and increased diversion programs, alternative sentences, and more lenient parole. For my jurisdiction, which has almost 700,000 people, we only have 17 beds that by law we can use for children who commit violent crimes, Madison says. Colorado Division of Youth Services or CDYS, was forced to reduce its pretrial detention capacity from 327 to 215 in 2021, following the passage of Senate Bill 21-071, also known as the Limit the Detention of Juveniles Act. The bill was sponsored by Senator Janet Buckner. That's the one I kept saying we were spreading disinformation, y'all, about the jabby jab. Then we got Representative Lindsay Doherty and Representative Andrew Bosennecker, Democrats who represent Arapahoe, Larimer, Adams, and Jefferson counties. They have arbitrarily capped the number of beds for each jurisdiction, Master said, and so my staff on a weekly and sometimes daily basis has to decide which least violent juvenile to let out of one of those beds in order to create space for the juvenile who committed a murder the night before. The CSI study titled "The Cost of Juvenile Crime and Its Economic Impact on Colorado" looked at Colorado crime statistics from 2010 to 2023, so in a 13-year period. Researchers found that since 2010, the total cost of juvenile crime in the state was, $3.31 billion. Would it be? The cost of juvenile crime in 2023 alone was equivalent to $566 per Coloradian. The concentration of juvenile crime in Colorado is highest in Adams, Fremont, Jefferson, Mesa, and Boulder counties. Adams, El Paso, Jefferson, and Denver counties account for 58% of all juvenile crimes, though they only have 44% of the state's population. But evidence of youth violence and the toll it's having on society can be found all over. We haven't been doing enough. Obviously, Beverly Kingston, director of the Center for Study and Prevention of Violence at the University of Colorado Boulder, or CU, where Coach Prime is, calls the increasing juvenile crime numbers heartbreaking. She believes people could be doing more to help. The violence is concerning, no question, she said, but it's also frustrating when we know we haven't been doing enough. We could be doing so much more to prevent violence. For instance, we could be implementing prevention infrastructure, which revolves around the idea that youth crime or youth violence and the reported risk factors can be treated and addressed like infrastructure and health problems. Just like we have roads and bridges, we need to have an infrastructure to prevent violence. Kingston explains. What we mean by that is basically a network of supportive, dependable relationships and focused resources that are aligned toward preventing violence and promoting healthy youth development. What we want to see is that this infrastructure is going to address the root causes of violence. So that means we're going to address those risk and prevention factors. We want to decrease the risk and increase the protection. Just like heart disease or for cancer, there are risk factors for violence. And it's very similar in some ways. We can think of violence as sort of a disease. What? Oh, so you're trying to say everybody can catch it. According to Kingston, prevention infrastructure includes both intervention and prevention tactics. This could be implemented through free programs like Aurora's Focus, Divergence, Save, SAVE, Standing Against Violence Every Day initiative, and the National Nurse Family Partnership Program, which helps educate low-income women who are having their first child. Each is geared toward stopping youth violence in its tracks at different stages of a person's life before it's ultimately too late. So this is Aurora shit. This is where Lady Che is at in Aurora. Save, standing against violence every day. Number 1 is intelligence analysis. Number 2 is recipient and group selection. Number 3 is custom notification and call-in. Number 4 is services and support. Number 5 is prosecution. And number 6 is successful transition. And there's a lot of stuff that follows underneath each one of these that I really don't feel like reading, but y'all can clearly see what it is. Most at risk for violence, law enforcement working group. So I have to read just like this. So as y'all can see, there's a lot of categories. These kids that are all involved in these shootings, they all needed some sort of intervention or prevention, Kingston notes. For some, they're past prevention. At this point, they have firearms, and the fact that they ended in a homicide tells me that there's something extreme going on in the lives of these children that needed intervention. And when I'm thinking about prevention, it's something that you want to do throughout the life course. Some of the best programs that I lost my spot, y'all. That's a long ass article. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not gonna read all of that tonight. I'm gonna start dozing off now. But yeah, that's a lot of stuff going on. I'll post a link in the chat so y'all can read it on your own time. Yeah, to hell with the goddamn Westword. I've never been a fan of Westword. It's always had racist articles and editorials and shit. So I don't know why the Negroes always asking for Caucasoid's permission. And so surprised about it. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here, Black family. Appreciate y'all staying up late with us, or me at this point. But Baccs in the chat, so we're still here. And Lady Che chimed in earlier. She's out with her sister. Her sister is grieving the loss of her son, so she's out with her sister kicking it. So shout out to them. And the funeral is up in 10 days, so yeah, it's a real heavy situation going on there. But yeah, we appreciate appreciate y'all staying up late with us. I'm starting to get tongue-tied and twisted up. You know I'm about to fall asleep. So in the meantime, make sure y'all like and subscribe to Frontline Black News, The Revolutionary Agenda, and Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. And join us this Tuesday, you dumpster supporters. We still would like for y'all to tell us what the hell we gonna get from a dumpster regime. So I've updated it. So there y'all are. We want you dumpster supporters to call in April 16th at 7 p.m. and tell us what the hell reason why we should vote for the Orange Man, the Predator man, the RWS man on the right side, because there's another one on the left side, see Jim Crow biting, that we're not supporting either. So we're on Team Cornell West over here, like I said. My party, the Unity Party, that's our logo right there. See the check mark. My party, I've been with for the past 5 years, has endorsed Dr. Cornell West from president. So he's the only one that has actually on his website and in person, personally, publicly, stated that they were in full support of reparations and that they had a timeline scheduled out on when those payments, meaning those checks, would be cut and dispersed to qualifying recipients, such as myself and Lady Che and Shabaka. So, yeah. So that's why we're supporting him. Otherwise, it's the couch. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to ask him what you did, but I will be able to now because I'm one of the electors, Mac, for the Cornell West campaign. So we'll be, me and Lady Che are going to be taking vacations and trips to get him ballot access in all 50 states. So that will be fun. Thank you, Matt. And if you didn't get the memo the first time, I'm running for House District 8 now under the Unity Party, and I'm going to be the only black candidate on the ballot for either party, any party, because only one, the 2 or 3 that were running, well, it was 2 that were running. It was Sharon Peterson, Quan Coon-ass Atlas. Yes, I say that publicly. Coon-ass Atlas. And Latino dude who I met with, had coffee with and all that. He decided to go the caucusing route with the Democrats, but he was an independent, so he should have just went the petitioning route. He would have been on the ballot, Victor. So none of them so-called POC, BIPOC, whatever, made the ballot. So I'm the only one that's going to be on the ballot. And this is swooping. This is like, oh, you thought you counted me out. You Democrat shields out here in the Mile High City. Because we have our own versions of the Kamala Harris's and the Boule Martins, Roly Polies, and they know who the hell they are, like the Jeff Farts, main ones. And his whole crew, anybody associated with them is bad news. Black family and the Merrill campaign proved that. So with all of that being said, I'm not surprised about this article in the least. We should have been boycotting the Westword. I don't really mess with it. I like to get the deals on the weed on the back of it. That's about it. I don't deal with that paper like that. It's just, if you out and about in Denver, you'll see the little kiosks or whatever. You just grab one, and they have all kinds of stuff in the back. that is beneficial, but the little articles that they be writing, that shit has always been racist as hell. So y'all just really late on this. Oh, they're painting us all with criminals. Well, if y'all seen the Hidden Color series, you would already know. Shalahad Ali, shout out to her. She had already let us know what it was, why they passed laws like trial as an adult and stuff like that. And like the sister said, Demetria K, they think our children are men, and thus they can justify harming them. And it was literally our children. I gotta close with this. It was our children that had a whole law passed to get away with killing them. It was called the Casual Killing Act. If you're on the Eastern Seaboard, you know all about that. But I want to say it was Virginia or Maryland, where East Coast correspondent Brother Isaiah is, where it was legal for these the mistress, slave mistress, to beat the slave children to death and get away with it. And it was called the Casual Killing Act. And if they were in the form of correcting them, they could say, "Oh well, we were correcting the child, so that's why we killed him," and they could just get away with it. Yep, the Casual Killing Act, that was only inflicted on FBA people and children. So, along with whole laws to keep us from reading and writing. So the war is real. We've been in there for quite a while now. We are gaining the upper hand now, and Babylon is falling. And we're going to welcome this collapse. So, with all that being said, make sure you like and subscribe to Frontline Black News, Revolutionary Agenda, and Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. We'll see y'all tomorrow after City Council, or today, now, after Denver City Council, with part 3 of season 4. We are 4 years. Can you believe it, Black family? 4 years. 4 years. No. 4 years in operation. Episode 2, part 3. So we'll see y'all then. So peace, love, light, reparations, and separation, and Black empowerment. Keep your heads on the swivel, and never let these coons or these race soldiers knock you off your square. Shout out to Jay Militant. Peace, Black family.